Ahoy! I'm Tyler,
I'm Hunter.
I'm JD.
I'm
and this is a hero
Harper.
story, episode one. It's weird. We've
One.
gone all the way back
We
around.
back.
Yeah. So we're rebooting.
Uh, I don't know
Uh
if I like it.
you know, like it felt weird. It felt
I
weird to
don't like
say.
it.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Episode
Look,
Yeah.
look,
one?
Hunter. At the end of the day, this is episode one. It is also episode 301. But
Yes.
for anyone listening for the first time, it's episode one. And we're just a couple guys that like to hang out every weekend, and we've never done this before, but we decided to do a
We're
podcast
trying we're
together.
trying
So
our
here we
best.
are. We're just trying our best.
We've been
Our
doing
favorite
this
things are
for
Sonic the Hedgehog. We also like Call of Duty,
We do like
and
Call of Duty.
we love Call of Duty, and we
We
also
near
like pro
exclusively talk about Call of
wrestling.
Duty. So if you're not into Call of Duty, you should not listen to this
Yeah.
podcast.
Podcast.
Have you
we've been
guys
doing
played
this for
zombies before?
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna go
Yo, it's
around. We're gonna share
crazy.
everyone's favorite zombie map because again, we only talk about Call of Duty on this podcast.
we've been doing this for about 7 years now, and the we had the audience vote on our Instagram at a hero story to see if we wanted
Yeah.
to reboot or not because we just did episode 300 about a week, 2 weeks ago now.
2 weeks.
So I guess we're rebooting, but we're also doing the exact same thing as we always do.
Yes, so we're not rebooting. We're relaunching. It's
We're
episode one.
algorithmically
Yeah,
rebooting is
we're
what we're
at, it's
doing.
episode one, but it's really legacy numbered episode 301.
Which
So
it will say on the
But
thumbnail.
so we
It will
appeal to
say
all
on the
the
new.
we appeal to new fans, those mythical new fans that always,
Mhm.
get with the relaunch, and we appeal to the old fans, that are like, oh, maybe I haven't listened in a while. Maybe I'll catch up on episode one.
These are the results.
Yeah, 55%.
Astounding victory. Oh, it's JD. It's
That was kind of scary, actually.
We
Um,
changed up. If you guys listened to our update video that we posted last week on YouTube, we changed up our algorithm a little bit, so we're reaching more Spotify users that aren't listening to a hero story but are listening to other comic book podcasts. So, hello, we're taking over.
we are taking over.
yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
great way to put it, man.
We're taking over Spotify headquarters.
Yes.
So there's a good chance that
Careful.
if you are listening to this, you are new to this, but how this podcast works is every week we talk about all the comic book news that happened through the week, including movie news, TV show news, gaming news, but mostly comic book news. We review certain comics every week sometimes. And then we also
Sometimes,
just talk about what up, what's happening, what's going on. And also, like, if there's a show happening like Daredevil, we talk about each episode each week. Briefly,
mhm.
when the series ends, we'll do a full review, but we just kind of say our general thoughts on that episode. So, for example, this week we're talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode four, is it?
Yeah. So
Three
for
and four. We missed
three and four, we
three
didn't
last
watch.
week.
We
Three
didn't.
and
Yeah, we
four?
didn't.
Assuming that
We
we
didn't
had a
watch.
podcast previously to this week, we would have talked about episode
Mhm.
three.
But we're also talking about Absolute Flash issue one, which just came out, as well as Sonic DC, which just came out
Sonic
finally,
DC, yes.
and
Absolute Batman came
as
out. Born World
a
under.
few other things as well, which we'll get into. We're talking about certain news this week that happened throughout this past week, and then we'll just have some casual conversations within it, like being
Look at him
questioned on
go.
One Piece.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Being questioned on One Piece. Look at this guy
Uh,
go. Look at him. Look at Hunter.
yeah, he's
I,
trying.
I
If only if there is a
am.
single new listener, I implore you to go back and listen to this motherfucker in the past.
If there's a single new listener, they're not listening anymore.
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so,
Uh, we
we'll,
jest. We jest.
we'll jump into it. We'll jump into it though.
Yeah. First bit of news I have here. This one's interesting. I think this could go any really way. But Sadie Sink, who is Max
Mm,
in Mad
mm.
Max in Stranger Things,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
she's they
Max
call
in
her
Mad
Mad
Max.
Max. Yeah, Max Mayfield or something like that, right? She's in
That
Spider-Man
sounds
4.
right.
She's gonna join the MCU, Spider-Man 4.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, does she look exactly like comic book Mary Jane Watson? Yeah, I would say that she looks like that. Is
Mm.
she gonna be? Do we have an MJ in the MCU?
I
So I
don't.
don't really
Yeah,
know where this is gonna go. I think this could go,
yeah.
and she could go from the highest of characters, like they could do some weird Mary Jane thing, or they could be like she's Deborah Whitman, Peter's like fourth girlfriend from the '70s.
You would not put it past the MCU to just pull
They
like
probably
someone.
will do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it could go either way. I mean, there are
Remember when they were
people.
like Giancarlo Esposito is going to be some
I was
like
about to
really
mention
cool
him.
Yeah,
person,
no,
and then
he's
sidewinder.
Sidewinder
What
from the
the
Serpent
fuck?
Society.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was
Um,
saying like a year prior, like Lex Luthor could happen.
yeah,
Not Lex Luthor,
and he's
Professor X,
talking about how
Professor
he's
X
going to
and
Yeah.
return
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Sidewinder. It's like, bro, but a Sidewinder though. Like you guys are you're gonna do the Serpent Society in the build up to Secret Wars. I don't think
Mm.
you are.
Yeah, you aren't coming
It's
back, bro.
it's so funny, man. The Sidewinder, because that is like the peak. Like MCU does this. They will cast. She's a big actor, I would say, or at least like her face is. I recognize
She's
her face from
known.
TV shows. Yeah, she's known.
Yeah.
Um, but they could again just do something completely strange and cast her as a nobody. They do that all the time with people.
No, he's already Benedict Cumberbatch. They
Do you
probably don't need to
think?
cast that one again.
Oh yeah,
Can you imagine if she was?
she's Doctor Strange. They recast Clea. It's like, she's like 30 years younger.
Oh no.
Yeah. But so there's obviously a lot of theories. People have rumors. I mean, your boy Jeff Snyder, Harper, he's got ideas. So
He's always got fucking ideas.
he does have ideas. Yeah, we gotta stop that guy from having some ideas. But he said, and this has been a rumor for the longest time, but he had said, and other people have corroborated, I guess, that she was always in the running for Jean Grey in the MCU X-Men reboot when that comes, right? Because they're casting that now, assuming that that's probably going to be. I bet the first movie after Secret Wars is an X-Men movie, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're going to recast immediately for this stuff. They could even be in that movie. And she apparently is the top of the list for who they want to play Jean Grey. So now she's in Spider-Man 4. There's all these rumors out that she's going to be Jean Grey in Spider-Man 4, which I don't want. I mean, don't do that.
I don't
it doesn't
think
really.
It
doesn't make any sense. I mean,
for a Spider-Man movie.
This whole movie's weird. Like, is it a multiverse movie? Is it street level?
You say that,
still don't know. Yeah, we still don't know.
But if you go back to Far From Home, you'll notice that there was a little girl standing there in a Spider-Man mask, and she does this. She does a little like laser up to, and Kevin Feige's confirmed that is
Sadie Sink's character.
That is Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah, that's it. Oh no!
But
no,
so,
wait.
There's people that think that she's Firestar from the cartoon Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah, right.
Which is again another X-Men thing. She's a mutant, right? And he lived with Iceman as well in that cartoon. So they might cast Iceman next. That'd be crazy if it's an adaptation of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, Spider-Man 4. They got to get the dog, Miss Lion.
What was Firestar's in something that I've read? Maybe Iron Man, maybe Doctor
She's
Strange?
an Avenger at some point. She's in Kurt Busiek's Avengers. She joins the team.
That'll do it.
But and then there's rumors. Obviously, there's throw any character in there. There's Felicia Hardy, Gwen Stacy. Every Gwen Stacy they've cast has actually been a redhead. So if they cast her as Gwen Stacy, it's gonna nerds.
It could be.
Yeah, but they could, I guess, conceivably cast her as Gwen Stacy. They could cast her. I don't think that they would do this, but they could cast her not as Gwen Stacy, but as Spider Gwen, I guess, if they wanted to, right? Which would be weird.
Honestly, but like we talk about like getting actors in that have name recrecognition and then casting them as
that
nobody.
Would be fine casting, I guess.
At least if you
not the worst
for
one.
That, it's like you are giving her a character that fucking matters and means something. I personally think make her the new Gwenpool.
Oh, the new. So she's Gwen. So she's normal Gwen Stacy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we do
the
Gwen Stacy thing, or does she just starts as dead?
Starts as dead.
Okay. But has Peter known her?
But she also yes, Peter also knew her and everything. She's never been mentioned.
Okay. What about this?
Good.
What about this? Limited series, Disney Plus. We open, they're looking really happy, and then she gets shot in the chest by Bullseye.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, you know what? I think that sounds like a really good idea, and I honestly think
some of us would really like that.
It,
some of us wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any sleepless nights about that. Surely. I think
a lot of people are saying that it could be Mary Jane. I don't think they should, because I know
I don't think
like
that makes any
Zendaya's
sense.
MJ.
There's no way
MJ is like. Yeah,
her
like,
name is Watson. Like they say it in No Way Home. She's Michelle Jones Watson. So if they were going to
like, oh, but she's not comic accurate. It's like, but she's still
it would genuinely
still
be
MJ.
Like, it'd be like Marvel caving to like fucking incels online. And
Yeah,
go, fine. Here's a white redhead Mary Jane. Like,
yeah, it'd be so strange. What I think I want, and again, this is a movie that we have no idea what this is going to be. We're not going to know. I don't know how long we're not going to know. I mean, like I could buy that we don't really know what this is until we go into the theater. But I think CinemaCon is coming up, and Sony's going to have a presentation there. I assume that's where we get the title of it. We get more details about it. That's like early April,
When
I
is
think.
that?
I think it's
Oh,
either
so
early
like coming
April
up.
or late of this month. Yeah, so that's coming up. We'll get certainly something said about what this movie is. But I think if you were going to cast her as Gwen Stacy, I think it could be really cool in sort of like a meta way, like in the way that the Spider-Verse movies do, where since this is a Peter who's met other Peters who have been through all this stuff, you could tell an interesting story about him having to now, okay, when this Peter meets a Gwen Stacy, he knows what's going to happen. He was told by Andrew's Peter that he lost Gwen, right?
Yeah.
So you could do something interesting with that story. I think that could be cool. And the same with if you were to introduce Harry or something, and it's like, okay, well, this guy's name is Osborn, shares a last name with the guy that killed Aunt May. You know, like that's interesting. I think that's a really interesting way you could do Tom Holland's
It's
Peter.
actually, you know what it's really similar to, Tyler? It's really similar to casting Robert Downey Jr. as
Dr. Doom. Oh, it could actually be similar to that in some way. Yeah.
Yeah. There
But
is
I think
something.
that could be cool.
I just feel like
that could be cool.
Spider-Man 4 is it's in this weird position where I feel like no matter what they do, unless it is another huge multiverse crossover deal, they're gonna struggle to live up to the fucking hype of the previous
Think so?
one.
Because I think I could genuinely believe that this movie makes more than the Avengers movie next year. I think people just love
What?
Spider-Man. I think people.
That's a hot take.
No, but
That's insane.
I think people. I think we are underestimating the fact that people actually like generally really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He is Spider-Man. So I think, especially, there's a lot of goodwill going off the ending of No Way Home. People want to see that.
Yeah,
I think you
have
get more
another
people.
thought.
I genuinely.
Another
I don't
thought
think
is that that's
Spider-Man-
not going to happen.
But
That's
I
not
don't think
gonna happen.
Avengers.
Spider-Man isn't as attached to the stink of the MCU right now. There's people are questioning.
Yeah, but it's
the
still
Avengers
the
movie.
Avengers. Dude.
I don't know. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying I could believe it. I really do.
A lot of people thought the second Avengers sucked ass. It
Yeah.
still turned out in droves for that.
Yeah,
man.
but No Way Home made $2 billion. I know a lot of that was Toby and Andrew, but it still made $2 billion.
Yes, I don't know.
And
How,
no,
how much
I
did,
don't.
how much did the second one make?
Far From Home, that also made $1 billion.
Did it? Wow.
So
Wow, that movie is.
I
not
don't
It's awesome.
interesting
think
at
that
all.
it'll make more than Avengers, but Tyler does have a point where like a lot of people that hate on the MCU now says, "Oh, everything since Endgame sucks, except for No Way Home."
yeah, and
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think
Dude,
Spider-Man
No Way
has
Home
this
was like
cachet.
No Way Home was a biblical turnaround for fucking Tom Holland's
Tom
Peter
Holland's
Parker.
Spider-Man, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
The internet was like, he's a little Iron Boy Jr., and now it's like, when are we getting Spider-Man 4? I was like,
That's what I mean,
this
though.
is
I
that
think the
good.
hype. I think there's more hype around this. Genuinely, I think than Avengers Doomsday. Genuine hype, not confusion, not like I want to see it.
But we also
I'm cautiously
we also
optimistic.
know we know nothing about Spider-Man.
That's
4.
why.
Yeah, but
That's why I think that is why there's more hype right now. But it's I don't know.
That's my thing. I
could
feel
buy
like
it.
there's no. I'm not feeling or seeing a lot of general hype about it just because we don't know anything about it.
But when they
like-
when they announce something like it's
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm curious to see. It depends if they go, oh, it's Spider-Man versus the Wrecking Crew. I'll be like, okay. Well,
and also, I mean, and this is I guess cheating, but Spider-Man's going to be in Avengers, and that comes out beforehand. Like people could be hot off that movie and then want to go see Spider-Man again. I don't know.
True.
I think
yeah,
it's
true,
plausible.
true.
I think it's plausible with the state they're in right now. I think it's plausible because Spider-Man is their heaviest hitter.
And Captain Marvel made $1 billion because it was in between two movies as well. Two
Yeah,
Avengers
exactly. And
movies, so-
Spider-Man is guaranteed.
Hell yeah.
I think Spider-Man today. Oh, the Wrecking Crew. Hey, they're in She-Hulk, man. They're in She-Hulk.
Are they in She-Hulk?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
look like dog shit. But
they just look like regular people.
yeah. But anyway, I think Spider-Man 4. I think it could be cool. I mean, Shang-Chi director.
Oh, they are
It's gonna
too.
look
What the-
cool.
Oh, that
gonna look
looks
cool.
so lame. What the fuck?
Yeah, they just
Are
jump
they
her
not
outside of like
She-Hulk?
her house, and then she turns
What
into She-Hulk.
episode was
and
that? I watched that show.
3, 4? Watched it recently.
It's one of the
watched
recent
that. I
ones.
watched those episodes.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Does
dude.
happen. Anyway, Sadie Sink, Spider-Man 4. I think Spider-Man 4 will be cool. I mean, I hope. I mean,
Yeah, we'll get more news probably in the coming months here. I looked at CinemaCon is March 31st, so
31st. Okay. So, but I don't know if Sony's panel is 31st.
till April 4th. Yeah, so it's a few days.
Next bit of news, strange, really weird. I don't know what's going on over there, but Colin Farrell's probably going to be Sergeant Rock, I guess now.
Woo! Absolute cinema. Let's go.
In the Penguin makeup too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no,
that's
sorry,
wrong.
I meant to say they
Same
cast Oz Cobb.
voice.
Yeah. They didn't cast Colin Farrell. They cast Oz Cobb.
Ozcob. Oh my
They
god, I
thought
forgot
Oz
about
Cops
that.
are real.
But
Giddy, you don't watch Penguin, right?
No,
We're gonna
good.
go around their flank.
It's really good.
yeah,
We need
I don't care.
suppressing fire.
but I think so. Colin Farrell. It's just
Get down,
like,
Vic.
it's just it feels.
Yeah. Keep your head down, son.
You don't want to get shot.
That fucking T-Rex. The fucking T-Rex.
What are you doing without your helmet? You gotta have your helmet.
What are you doing?
Vic's
I'm
also
sorry,
in
Vic.
this.
And
Yeah,
throws into like
Vic
a
is
pack
in
of
it.
velociraptors. They just tear him to shreds.
I think this feels to me, and like I'm not against it, I guess, right? Because Colin Farrell is really good, but
Oh my God.
this feels to me like Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom. It's just another you're recycling the same guy for a different role.
At least this isn't in the same universe.
And I get that, like he's not
just
under.
still
No, yeah,
laughing.
he's not under the
Vic.
same.
Like a T-Rex appears, he goes, oh, and he turns around to like the waddle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does the one away. Just pushes Victor, shoots him in the leg.
Hey, dinosaurs,
Hey, Vic,
birds. We're
Storm
we're
the
birds
beaches
of a
in
feather.
Normandy, Vic.
Yeah.
Wait for the ramp.
It's a stupid.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, because they cast Oz Cobb. I mean, I'm excited for a Sergeant Rock movie. Inexplicably, I don't have any reason to be. I think I like the idea of a cool World War II movie. So cool, I guess. Is the dream dead? Is the Pattinson dream dead? Was it ever alive?
I was about to start drawing something. I saw him whip out the fucking iPad so quickly. Oh my God.
But yeah.
All right. Next piece of news. I can't do it. Anyway, absolute cinema. I would have preferred Daniel Craig because he looks like he's been through the war already.
Daniel
looks
Craig
war
was
weary,
selling
doesn't
me
he?
on it. That was why I wanted to see Daniel Craig as Sergeant Rock. I mean, come on, man.
I
Please.
kind of like Oz Cobb as
Oz Cobb is such right. It's
Yeah,
gonna
Oz
be a
Cobb.
great thumbnail when I put the fucking like World War II American helmet on top
The
of
penguin.
Colin Farrell's penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Next bit of news was that there's a new Thunderbolts comic that they announced. And I'm trying
Oh,
to
yeah,
find
yeah.
this again.
Is it the movie
Interesting.
one?
No. It's called. It's
No,
actually
the
called,
team's pretty interesting.
It's called
Oh,
New
okay.
Thunderbolts. Actually, the book. It is.
Do not tell me who's on the team. I want to look at it right now.
Well,
Thunderbolts.
Tyler should just tell you, like, one at a time.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, mate. All right.
All right. Okay.
Bucky Barnes, Black
Yeah,
Widow,
cool, all right. Cool.
X-23,
Okay.
Namor,
Okay.
Eddie Brock as Carnage.
Woo!
That's either the Hulk
Where's
or
my
the
cat?
Hulk's son, either one, and Clea Strange.
Whoa!
Yeah, I just sent
That
it in the
is-
chat.
That's like
Look
a
at it.
fucked up Midnight Suns. That's so
It's like a weird Defenders team, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. I
Okay.
mean, it looks awesome. That's a
Hell
cool
yeah.
team. That's a throw.
It
a
is,
cool
it's
team.
very unique. Yeah, it
That's
is
a
very
throw
good.
darts at a board team, but I like teams like that. You know
You
what I mean?
do love it. Oh my! Are they serious with the asterisk? Like,
Yes, they're
what
serious
are
with
we
the
talking-
Oh, they
asterisk.
are.
Yep.
I didn't even
Just
notice
fucking-
that.
like, come on.
Yay! I think yay for the asterisk. Honestly.
Yeah.
Next bit of news. I need more specifics on this one, but Invincible season 3 just ended, and
Yes.
Kirkman said that Invincible season 4 will have a storyline that was not in the comic, which I think is
Yep.
very interesting.
So this could be just like one episode.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
very interesting, but they also did a Walking Dead show where I reckon 30% of it was just made up. So like, it's
Well, I
not that
think
different,
what
is
it is, so allegedly this is the storyline. Kirkman talks about how when he finished Invincible, there was a storyline he never got back to, right? And so I think this is it. I think this is what he's talking about. He said there's a story.
That's actually really cool then.
There's a story he forgot, and I'm trying to find
Bro
like he
forgot.
set it up. Damien Darkblood. Here we go. He set it up
Damien
at some point in the
Dark.
series, but never followed up on it. Like he literally forgot to, because he had so many threads in Invincible to keep up with.
Yeah,
So they're gonna do that storyline in the cartoon, which I think is actually pretty cool.
that's super cool.
You know,
and
that
the
is
guys-
cool, but also I really feel like he should have just done.
Wait, but the character, the character you're talking shit about, man, Bruce Campbell, voiced by Bruce Campbell.
Oh my god, hell yeah, dude.
Ooh.
That's so good.
So it
When I
almost sounded
saw-
like
I
I
saw-
said that the character is Bruce Campbell, the
Bruce
actor Bruce
Campbell,
Campbell.
yeah, you know how I feel.
Yeah.
I did see that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was voicing that big dickhead Thrag. Is that his
no, he's
name?
Conquest.
Conquest, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That's fun.
That is fun. And also, Kirkman says that they've cast Thrag and they're not going to announce it until
right.
Until the show, which is cool. I don't know who. There you go. Look at that. There we go.
It was so
It's for visual ears. Oh, visual
that is right.
audio.
That's
fucking goddamn it.
I'm so gonna
Visual watchers only.
I'm stealing that
Video.
idea for the thumbnail for
Yes.
sure, dude. Oh my god.
But I think that's cool. I don't know who's gonna play Thrag. I think there could be.
Oh, they said Thrag has been casted, but they're not saying what yet. And they also said season
That's what
4
I
has already finished
just
voice lines.
fucking said.
So I was trying
If you were paying
Oscom.
attention instead of doing stupid fucking Photoshop.
Oscom.
It was stupid fucking Photoshop. You jerk
Stupid
off.
fucking
Do you guys
photo.
have any guesses who it could be?
That's what I'm thinking, because you know what my mind went to was J.K. Simmons, and I realized he's on
Yeah.
and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who would have been good, is Conquest.
Yeah.
So
and
the Invincible writers say every single season they ask if Bryan Cranston could voice a
I was
character.
literally
and he
actually
says,
about to say Bryan
he
Cranston.
says
shit.
no every time, but they said for season 4 they're still going to ask him for another character.
I wonder.
And
I think that would be good. I mean, I was thinking literally because they love to do their callbacks within the show. Like that's part of why they cast Conquest as Jeffrey Dean Morgan, because then you can have your Glenn Negan rematch.
Yeah.
But fucking Aaron Paul's in the show as the whiny guy who's really upset that they zodded Metropolis. Yeah, whatever his name is. You know, he's mad in the same way that Batman was in BVS. BVS reference for their episode. For new listeners,
There's even a 1% chance.
For new listeners, we reference BVS every episode.
Because
it's a
we
bad
all
movie.
love
a chance. He's
For new listeners, we all love BVS.
The ultimate cut is
Not a
actually like a completely
Listen, the
different
theatrical cut was ass, but the ultimate cut's like a 9 or 10. Come on.
Based.
There's even a 1% chance he's our enemy, Mr. White.
Literally, no, but literally
Yes,
that. Like, those characters would never meet, right? Obviously, those characters would never meet. They never have any reason to. But I would buy that they would cast that specifically just because so they could have them both in the show. Because why not? They cast all of the budget for the show seemingly goes to all these voice actors.
What about Colin Farrell as the Penguin as Thrag?
All right.
Hey, Invincible! I can fucking see you right there!
Not so invincible, are we? You know, knocks you through a building or whatever. I don't know.
Punches his head off.
Yeah. I think apparently the show is really good now. Like season 2 might not have been that great, but apparently season 3 is really good. And I buy it. I watched the Conquest fight. It is the best best fight in the comic.
One of the best kites you've ever seen.
It is the best fight.
I mean, they were flying around,
series.
man. But it is. Yeah, it's probably the best fight in the series. So I wanted to watch it, and they did not disappoint. I don't think.
Probably not as good as Sonic 3, but yeah.
Oh, you never know.
There
You
we
gotta watch.
go.
You gotta watch. Anyway, next bit of news: Mark Waid, new DC book. He did this for Marvel. This is cool. History of the DC universe. So Mark Waid says that this has been his dream book. I'm trying to find the quote by Waid. Of course, I can't find it. But okay, here we go. He said, "This is my dream project. It's a chance to realign all of DC's sprawling continuity into one big master timeline and to be joined by some of comics' greatest artists to make it shine. With new information for longtime fans, plus Easter eggs galore, this will be an essential read for DC fans."
I love Mark Waid. Friend of the show, two-time
Mark
guest,
Waid.
even though this is the first episode.
Yeah.
I feel like every time Mark Waid's on a book, he says it's his dream project.
I think I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah. This one I kind of buy though, because he gets to morph all the clay, you know, like he gets to say what's the universe that he loves so much. Like he gets to decide.
Turn Dan to
You think when he did the Invisible Woman 4-issue miniseries, he was like, "This is my dream.
This is my dream book."
Yeah. Holy shit, that's a deep cut, dude. I
um,
remember us talking about that.
but this is cool. So basically the premise of this book, which I think is really cool, is that it's the DC universe through the perspective of Barry Allen. So we go, I guess it's a time travel story with Barry. And he goes from the beginning of time all the way to the end of the DC universe. He did this with Marvel. There's a Marvel book, History of the Marvel Universe. It's told by Franklin Richards and Galactus at the end of time. That book is fucking awesome. So if we can get that with DC,
Which we are, yeah.
This is brilliant too, because for long-term comic book readers, you'll know that Mark Waid did a classic Barry Allen run for a decade, pretty much on The Flash.
On The Flash.
The one and only Barry
Flash.
Allen, the only Flash that we all love. That's crazy that like he's gone for Barry's probably the more time travel sciencey guy, even though Wally is like his heart, you would assume, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it's cool. I think Barry Allen is like, in terms of the DC universe, Barry Allen opens up the multiverse. Like he's like an essential key element of just
what would you know, fake Flash fan?
That's true. I mean, I'm reading from a script back here. Sorry.
He has a teleprompter.
Yeah, exactly.
Grant
Barry
Gustin
Allen
with a
is
gun
an
to his head.
essential Flash character.
I think Mark has talked about that before, and it's definitely like why he chose Green Lantern and Flash for his Brave and the Bold series is like that the two of them started the Silver Age with the showcase book and like kicked off a new generation of comics.
Yes. And I think like when you look at like it's again not even just like the literal Silver Age, but like the type of stories that comic books were doing now, he expanded it like Barry Allen, the character expands into like weird wacko sci-fi nonsense, right? And so I think that's where this character kind of belongs, is like this. That's why he was good when he was dead, because he's just a monument, right? He's like he's a cool thing of the past. And I think that's a really cool.
His monument, look around you.
I think that's a really cool perspective to, I guess, go through the DC universe with. I think it's cool.
I wonder if he'll find a universe where Supergirl's there instead of Superman, and they fight Zod in a desert.
You think so? I was thinking he would go back in time and wake up Bruce Wayne from having a dream, and then put him into another dream.
I hope his tooth falls out.
I hope his tooth falls out too.
I hope they fight over some noodles or whatever.
I hope he runs around a room thinking that he has super speed, but actually just prancing around.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. That's
good. I hope he puts a baby in a microwave. That was the worst day of my life, and you make me relive it when you talk.
I love the idea of your world melting down on you.
Tyler was just like, "What if? What if it's
good? It might be good.
It might be good." Like, no, it's
not what would be the equivalent of like how the Flash movie went for me? Like, imagine Iron Man came out.
Batman v Superman, dude. I've been there. I've gotten over.
Forget you. You've had great Superman content. Imagine like Iron Man 2008 comes out.
Yeah, Iron Man's like Morbius level.
Like when he's in the cave of that fucking like when he's stuck and instead of like fixing his chest, he's like, "What if we played with spaghetti?" And I
know. Well, imagine him going, "What if we play with spaghetti?"
But that was the pitch meeting making that movie. Though Andy Muschietti was like, "What if we play with spaghetti?" And
we
Jeff
got Michael
Johns
Keaton,
was like,
and he's gonna play with spaghetti.
That's our Batman director.
Hell yes.
Mate,
oh my god.
The director of Superman's favorite superhero movie.
One of the best superhero movies. Hey man, Tom Cruise loved it. Stephen King loved it. So what can you say? That's such a weird time, man.
I'm not trusting Stephen King's opinion on fucking anything, dude. I know he says he's not on drugs anymore. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Sorry, dude.
I mean, yeah, you love the Flash, so I'll read this book. I think it's cool. I was wondering, exclusive scoop from our from our Mark Waid interview, and from a Mark Waid interview where he said that he was maybe gonna have Dr. Manhattan. They were gonna set up that Dr. Manhattan was messing with stuff in the future, right?
Yeah.
Is this that? Because this is the history of the DC universe. We're talking about stuff that's happened. Do we see the 5 years or whatever? I know. But yeah.
Awesome. That's so good. I did think about like this week, next week.
Next week, guys. But anyway, I think it's cool. And I wonder if this is gonna have that type of stuff in it. Dr. Manhattan. Anyway, moving on. Marvel's relaunching Fantastic Four book to coincide with the new movie. Same writer.
Is Johnny still banging that alien or not?
No. That alien died, dude. Alien's been dead.
Good.
No, I agree. Johnny. Okay, no, I'll send it in the chat because it's worth like being mad at Johnny about it because Johnny Storm was sure
there was oomph in that good there.
No. Wait till you see this thing, dude. There's a story in Ryan North's X-Men God, what's going on with my brain, dude? In Ryan North's Fantastic Four recently, where they get sent back in time and they go to like a primordial Earth, and there's like different kind of aliens on it or something. And Johnny, who listen, I get it. Johnny's like a guy who he sleeps around, I guess, like you could say that about Johnny Storm. I'm trying to find this issue. He sleeps with like I just don't think that this is acceptable. Like I know we have to let people love who they love, but
I've
like
seen the
this,
alien. It's
I don't think that this is acceptable as like a relationship for a human being. And I'm sorry, I know
Tyler. They're human too, Tyler.
Jeez. No, they're not though. Like this is not a human. I sent it in the chat. This thing, look at it, and tell me that you would not think differently about your friend if he brought that over.
This is just a picture of JD.
Wait, I still don't have it.
Why do I not have it?
Oh, I just sent it to the wrong person. Oops. Here we go. I just sent it. But yeah, that's funny actually.
I will describe for audio listeners here.
It's gross. Come on, guys.
I still don't have it.
I still do not have this photo.
Please send. Okay, it just sent. Look at this thing.
There. Oh.
Is that the senator?
Yeah, no, this is the one. Yeah. No,
this is not good.
From Camino, little,
for fuck's sake.
I don't think like I get it, Johnny. Like we live in a fantasy sci-fi world. Do what you want. I would look at him differently.
Like an animal.
Is this? I don't know. Maybe this is not PG enough for like the episode. But where do you put it?
I don't know.
Where do you put it?
At the end there.
Oh no! But there's no head. Look at the alien Uzi there. That's a snail head.
He does kiss it, by the way. But
this would genuine. I'm telling you, Tyler. Like I agree with you on such a level that if Johnny Storm was one of my favorite characters, I would take him off the list for this.
Yeah,
I cannot trust.
I would kick him off the Fantastic Four for this. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, you don't get to be on Earth's coolest super team. You're doing weird stuff.
Here's the difference, because this is like, we're having this human character date an alien, and it's weird. Star-Lord did the same thing, right? In 2019, he did the exact same thing, but these are the aliens. This is what they look like.
Yeah, it's a human. Yeah, exactly.
Like they look like people. They just have like teal-colored skin.
Yeah.
This is different.
It is very different.
And I don't love that.
But anyway,
I love that. More like
it's a really good issue, actually.
It's more like a bug than a person.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's Ryan North's Fantastic Four is really good. Anyway, they're relaunching it.
Like, imagine if Johnny Storm was in that fucking Aliens versus Avengers. He'd try and fuck a xenomorph.
He would. He 100%. Yeah,
he'd try and bang a xenomorph. He'd be like, "What's that mouth do?"
Is issue 1 still Ryan North?
Yes, Ryan North is going to still be the writer on the book. So it's another pointless relaunch of issue 1.
We hate pointless relaunches.
Yeah, I mean, why would you go back to issue number 1? Why would you ever go back to 1 and keep the legacy number? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, no, that's a really stupid idea.
But Humberto Ramos is on art.
I just realized what happened to that Aliens versus Avengers series.
There was a newest issue a couple weeks ago, maybe last week actually. They released like every 3 months. So
every 3 months. Oh my god, what's the point? It's not even a good enough story to fucking warrant that way. Are you for real?
Anyway, Humberto Ramos and Ryan North. That's the Fantastic Four book. I think that's cool. I like him. I like them both. So I mean, I like this book right now. I'm not gonna suddenly drop it because they're relaunching it.
Yeah.
What do I have?
So the alien died.
The alien died. Yes. I mean, her timeline was eviscerated.
Good.
See, good. I agree.
Good.
So does that mean? Yeah, good. Does that mean none of that happened then?
No, it happened. Johnny remembers.
No, it still happened.
It's like Zaji, dude. It's like Colossus on Battleworld, right? Like it happened. We're not gonna talk about it though.
I'm gonna need them to just scrub that from. I'm gonna need like a panel where it's the Reverse Flash whispering in his ear, and it turns out that he didn't mean to or something.
No, it's gonna be you're gonna see that alien again taking off the Mysterio helmet.
Oh my god, yes. No, takes off the alien mask. It's Gwen Stacy. Takes off the Gwen Stacy mask. Then it's Mysterio.
It's Mysterio. Hell yes.
Do you remember? This is a reference only for Tyler and JD. But do you remember in Vader versus Hitler 3, the epic rap? No, maybe it's 2. When it's like the Leia mask and he pulls it off, and then the Darth Vader helmet is underneath. Yeah.
Wow.
Just like that. Hunter, go watch that video immediately. It's aged really well.
Hey, remember Full Metal Alchemist? Remember how we were going to do that? Okay.
I'll watch Full Metal Alchemist. It's
no,
he won't. I've accepted that he won't.
I think this is cool. Oh, no. Johnny, I mean, I'm at the point in Byrne's Fantastic Four where now Johnny's having an affair with Alicia Masters, or I guess Alicia Masters is having an affair with Johnny, cheating on Ben, the Thing, because he's been off
Oh
on
my
Battle
God,
Worlds.
what?
He's been gone.
That's happening right now?
No. I said I'm in John Byrne's Fantastic Four from like 40 years ago where this is happening.
Oh,
and
okay, never mind.
I'm at the issue where Johnny and Alicia have been sleeping with each other because Ben's not been around, and then Ben just showed back up, and he goes to his home, Alicia, the home he shares with Alicia, and he's banging on the door like, "Oh, you must have got a new lock." And then Johnny answers the door in his underwear, going, "What do you want?" And then sees that it's Ben, and then Ben just rips the apartment in half.
The apartment. Okay.
He wrecks the place. Oh my God. It was
awesome. Hunter, I think it would have been more reasonable if he just tore Johnny Storm in half.
Like Shao Kahn. Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Would nulled it to the Sentry.
Yeah. Sentry to Ares,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah. Love that.
So good.
I have Batman written down. I know what that means.
Which is Batgirl.
Hunter, you want to talk about this Batgirl leaked footage?
I just want to mention that Warner Brothers said that Batgirl, they're just like, hey, it's deleted, it's gone. There's nothing we can do about it. But then
we don't got it no more. What do you want?
There was a leak that showed a fight scene, like a 2-minute fight scene, just came out suddenly online.
From like a cell phone, or was it like from the monitor?
It was like someone recording like a monitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be scrubbed, I guess. They could still have deleted the movie.
Yeah, but this person is.
I don't think. Like do they do that? Because Warner Brothers.
No, I'm pretty. Didn't they say they were like it's locked in a vault?
In the vault, yeah.
Where the Snyder Cut used to be.
Yeah, that's gonna be exactly. Like not a literal vault, obviously, right? Like, but I think
it's just on some dude's hard drive.
Yeah, but like because Warner Brothers is doing this now for some reason because they don't like money. They want to like cancel their movies that they've already made, right? So they shot Batgirl, they got rid of Batgirl, they canceled Coyote.
It was a tax write-off. That's why they did it. Yeah.
Batgirl would have lost more money than they got on the tax.
Well, I think it was going to go straight to HBO Max too, anyway, right? It was going straight to HBO.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So I guess
it
wouldn't have been there. I guess it wouldn't
have
been any
it's
money
insane
anyway.
To me to shoot a movie, finish a movie, and then go, you'll never see the movie. That is crazy.
If only they did that with the Flash. If only they did that.
I agree, JD.
That was the one they
kept. You will not get a Flash movie until you probably the day after you die. I think it'll.
Not fair.
What I think is interesting.
2028, I reckon.
Yeah, the day after you die. 2025. Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow.
Oh shit!
It's already shot. It's ready to go.
Yeah. I think
Ryan Gosling is Barry Allen.
There was an article that came out recently where Warner Brothers apparently is shopping around Coyote v Acme. Like they actually do want this movie.
Yeah,
to
they
get
are.
Out there.
They're trying to sell it.
They're trying to sell it. So the movie actually, I guess, will be released. I don't think that's going to happen with Batgirl. I don't think there's the want for it. I don't think it's like I think people. I would want to say that a Warner Brothers like Looney Tunes movie would do good. Probably wouldn't, but I think that it would probably be better than the Batgirl movie apparently is.
It's just I was going to say Michael Caine as Batman. Michael Keaton is in that movie as Batman.
Yes, that's
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
I don't know. It's a whole strange scenario. Whatever.
Can that also be on the thumbnail? Michael Caine is Batman.
I'm about to work the size of a tangerine.
Why did you make him Count Dracula?
The size of a tangerine.
The room is the size of a tangerine.
What do I have next?
Strange adventure.
Can you imagine we get it like 40 minutes into Nosferatu and his first line is, "Oh, Ruby, the size of a tangerine."
Tangerine. Yeah. I will give you guys two options of what we're going to talk about right now. I don't know which one to do first. Daredevil episodes 3 and 4, or Sonic 3.
Sonic 3.
Let's do Sonic when we talk about DC Sonic.
Yeah, actually,
that makes sense.
Daredevil right now.
Daredevil, Born Again, 3 and 4 have been out since we've been able to talk about them. They're real good.
Tyler,
they're really good episodes.
Every single week. So like 2 weeks ago, is that right? 3, whatever. When the first two episodes came out. Like we had big discussions in the chat about like, okay, well they said they retooled things, but then like the showrunner came out and said realistically it's like the first 2 episodes are different and then a little bit in the middle and then the last 2 are completely new. And then we heard that like the second episode was originally supposed to be the first episode and that kind of made sense and blah blah. definitely they made the right decision in actually showing us this shit, because when you get to this scene and you have like characters talking about Foggy and stuff, it just wouldn't have the impact. But
Good stuff,
watching
man.
this episode, which is, edging towards the middle, but is supposed to be like the original show. I know, edging.
Yeah.
This episode, it was just me. It was like 60% of this episode new shit, like had to have been new
I think
shit.
so.
Between
I
the
think
Frank
it would
stuff,
have to, yeah.
Daredevil stuff, like I think realistically the case, like the case that he takes in the middle might have been old stuff. Like, oh, JD's dead. Cool. Like it feels like
you think
most
that's cool?
of it, and most of it had to, well, we did say. So Flash comes out tomorrow, guys. I hope you
That's
enjoy it. Yeah, like it just, every time, like I'm expecting, like, okay, we're gonna get into, this is clearly the old stuff, and every time I'm
You
like,
just can't tell.
where's the old stuff? Because it's Fisk with the
Yeah.
actress from the original show,
Which
it's
is
Matt with the
reshoots.
Punisher when John
Frank
Byrne
Castle, yeah.
What I read about the Vanessa thing that I think is interesting is apparently I think apparently a lot of the Fisk footage might be the original shoot, what they got.
I heard
and then the reverse
some of,
shots of Vanessa are her having reshot that. But there was
whenever
like the
it's
older
Fisk
actress.
close up. Yeah, whenever it's Fisk close up, I think it's old footage. Whenever you see them together sitting on the couch.
Yeah, because
together.
there was they recast her for some
Oh
reason.
yeah, there was
and
I think it was because she was filming something else. There's not for some reason.
But I feel like why recast would just say that she's not there. Like that's so strange.
Yeah,
she is pretty important to the story.
Yeah, and I don't think people would have accepted that.
No, I don't. But that's what I mean.
They weren't. They weren't.
I think we are in the right timeline. Like I think all of this shit.
Yes,
makes
well,
sense.
having redone this,
assuming that like. Okay, let's say John Bernthal did come back as the Punisher. Can you imagine this conversation where Matt is screaming like about Bullseye? He got life, and then Frank being like, "Foggy, you get life." Like, would any of that land at all if we didn't see Dear Foggy get shot? Like, I know in that first episode we felt a little like it's like, okay, well, you've just brought him back and killed him, but now. Like, I am feeling it weeks later. Like, every time he talks about him, watching Matt tear up, I was like,
very interesting.
Fuck.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like the Wade Daredevil approach, where he's putting on a face. He's like pretending that he's okay. He's been pretending all this time. And the second you introduce Foggy into that, and you have to make him think about it, he's got to sit and actually talk to somebody about it. He breaks down. It's not.
Dude, Frank pushing him and going, say his name, coward. Say his name. Why won't you say his name?
You know what I love about that?
Oh man,
I love that he's doing that because I think he just wants Daredevil to like go start killing people. Like he's not
he's pushing his buttons.
He's like you know who you should do. Gives him a gun. He's like, Bullseye's in jail, isn't he? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, but a big Vic, how about you go shoot him in the jail?
It's still out there. It's a continuation of the rooftop talk.
Well, that's my thing. So I brought it up in the chat, but I didn't like really elaborate on it. But like, if you go to that rooftop chat in season 2, Frank is like screwing things together and he's fiddling with his gear and he's doing a bunch of things. And every time Daredevil pipes up, he's like, "Oh, are you fucking serious?" Like he doesn't want to hear it. And then
you want to talk about Santa Claus? You want to talk about Santa Claus?
Yeah, you want to talk about And he like sits in the chair and he's like, "I am ready to argue with you."
Yeah,
like he's so
tinkering for a bit, and then he's like, "All right, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this." Yeah.
But I think does this imply? This obviously implies more meetings of them previously because they haven't met since season 2. At least for us, right?
Maybe, yeah, I mean it's been 6 years,
but they must have. Yeah, I assume in between this they've done adventures together. They know each other better. Like
maybe not adventures.
Yeah, maybe not adventures. They would have had run-ins, I think.
Yes, they would have. Yes. They would have seen each other. Maybe they've fought again, stuff like that. But they've resigned to their relationship in this. You know what I mean? Like they know each other. They know they're not going to change each other, and so I think that's what's really interesting about it. And I think that's what's really interesting about that dynamic for those two characters. Like they're just so interesting. Those like together, the Punisher and Daredevil. You know what I mean? It's like I love seeing those two interact in anything. And I think that this was like
every time they talk, it's gold.
Yeah, every single time.
I'm going to tell you something, and I think you're going to go, yeah, no, I could tell, but they did say today that that scene, this Punisher scene in this episode, was originally shot for a later episode
7, yeah.
And they moved it up because they felt it fit, which is strange to me because like I don't know how it would have fit later on because like Matt literally goes to the scene, finds the bullet, uses the bullet to track Frank down, goes, hey, this bullet has a fucking Punisher
I guess
skull
maybe there
on it.
would have
What's
been
going
more
on?
White Tiger stuff. I don't know.
I guess. I don't again, I feel like it's one of those things where I'm glad we're getting the version that we got. I also someone made a great point, which is the original version, Punisher being in it wouldn't have made any sense because if if Karen died as well, Bullseye would be fucking dead.
Yeah,
like there would be
true.
no drama with Bullseye
Yeah.
because Frank would have just murked him, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
At least with Foggy, they've got the distance. He's like, he didn't really know Foggy as well, but he understands, the impact.
Yeah. And I think because, oh man, Bernthal as the Punisher is as good as casting gets.
Yeah.
For these things, like I think I said this in the chat. I think it might be better casting than D'Onofrio as Kingpin and Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Like I think I could buy, maybe not. I think Kingpin is like beyond perfect. Maybe he's
maybe.
I think Charlie Cox, I think at this point I can't see any of them.
Like, I think Charlie Cox is excellent as Daredevil. He's the best we could possibly hope for. But I think I could see another actor playing this role as good. Maybe
Ben Affleck.
Yeah. But I think
you say that, but Ray Stevenson Punisher is. I mean, it's not a very good movie, but he is unbelievable.
I mean, he's fun as the Punisher. Yeah. But I think Bernthal for me is like he made the character appeal to me. Like I was not a fan of the Punisher. Yeah. I didn't like the character at all, and I know that like hardcore Punisher fans, you know one when you see one. You've
got a tattoo, you've got a sticker on your truck.
They don't like I don't think they like Bernthal's Punisher because he's like he's like remorseful and has like emotions and
he has feelings.
He has feelings. He's suffering and stuff. And
hardcore Punisher fans aren't the people that you're talking about.
No. But like, there's
Eminem.
Not. Well, sure, yes. But I'm saying that there's also not a lot of him being the Punisher in either season of that show, Yeah. So you're being kind of lied to on what the premise of the Punisher. Like if you say, okay, I want to go see a Punisher TV show, I'm assuming it's like action every week. He shows up, he kills a bunch of guys, he leaves. But like, oh no, it's like this drama about this guy who's really sad about the fact that his family's dead.
Kids,
you know what I mean? And like that's what made that's what made the character appeal to me. But I think now in this, he's just full on. I don't regret what I do. I have to do this. This is who I am. Which is
clearly why Bernthal was happy to be back for this because he was like this.
I'm very excited for that special next year. Like,
damn. What a Hunter, you just quoted it, but it's such a crazy line. Like every time I sit still, you know what I hear? Get him, Daddy. Get every single one of them. Like your son is telling you to just murder, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's how he justifies it. And he wants Matt to start hearing that, man. He wants Matt to start hearing Foggy say, "Get him, Matt."
Get him, Daddy.
Maybe. But yeah, I think it was very good. I think this episode was very, very good. You get a lot
so good, and we still haven't seen Daredevil.
Yeah, we are not get. I am 100% sure, and I have been since I sent you guys that Variety. No, was it for Hollywood Reporter article? Or
Deadline.
Was it Deadline? Deadline.
I don't know.
No, but when I sent you guys that article, like a place that had watched the whole season, and it said Daredevil doesn't suit up till episode 6. As soon as I saw that, a week or more ago, I was like, that is why 5 and 6 are coming out together. Because there's no way they could go
like end of 5. Yeah,
I think I think it's going to be.
I see middle of 6.
Start of 6.
I see.
Middle of 6. End of 5. He'll be like looking at the mask, and we'll hear like dun, 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 dun,
that was this episode though. That's what he was doing.
But now he's good. But it's going to happen again.
Oh, okay, cool.
But maybe he'll hold it, and then he'll cut to the credits, and you hear that like.
I gotta say, I am very happy that they don't. I'm very happy that they don't do that every episode. Like. I'm very happy that they've spent I think it's really cool that they've spent so much time avoiding Daredevil in this show.
I think you were fucking spot on, Tyler. I remember when the first 2 episodes came out and I went, well, like in episode 3, he'll be back. And you were like, I don't think I'm going to feel the weight of him not being Daredevil if he suits up episode 3.
It's going to be so nice when he puts on the mask again.
The build up has been like, maybe it's because these episodes are like, 35 to 40 minutes and like the dialogue
it's really good.
I think is really, really good. That scene when Matt is just talking to the lady in the fucking Sophia, he's trying to riz her up on the court case.
Yeah.
That conversation, I was just like, this is as good as a hallway fight for me. I just fucking love this shit.
This is like Matt Murdock. Like this feels authentic to the character. It feels like it's just like really good stuff, you know.
I just like I'm sure you look beautiful today. Like
Yeah,
I just love it.
But I think because I think it's really cool. Again, getting into the like I guess the Wade interpretation of it, where it's like he's putting on a facade, he's trying to be happier, or he's pretending to be happier. I think it's cool that Matt has not talked about Daredevil. He's not like gone to his room and felt the mask every episode. He's not talking.
I mean, he feels the horn every episode.
Yeah, no, he brings the horn with him. That's cool.
True.
But I like that it's not so like if Karen was still in this show, they'd be having conversations about how she's like, you got to be Daredevil, man. He's like, I don't want to be Daredevil. I'm happy that they're not having those conversations. I'm happy that it's simmering. Just him. It's him alone making this decision. And I think that's really interesting. I think it's really cool.
This whole episode basically building as this, like, we're watching Fisk and Matt are basically removed since that first episode. Matt is not really worrying about Fisk right now. Like it's there.
Yeah.
And Fisk isn't really worrying about Matt, but it's always going to be there. And now they're sort of building up and up and up. And the end of this episode is Fisk both slipping of them relapsing back into Kingpin. And exactly, Matt slipping back into Daredevil.
That's so cool. I think that is so cool. Yeah. You basically have these two characters who both have a base instinct that they're trying to ignore. And neither of them are stronger than it. And they're going to collide because of it. Like it's such a collision course thing. Yeah. Yeah. Here's what I'm wondering about just the Daredevil show, the Daredevil, I guess, sub universe in the MCU at this point, is how we talked about this last time, but I want to know how big this gets. I want to know, because season 2 allegedly, from what we know, which is nothing, it will have the Defenders in it, and like they're going to come back, which would be really cool, versus Fisk, who's like really cracking down on like mass criminals, right? And so that's a version of Devil's Reign. I don't think season 2 will be our Devil's Reign. I think they will do that. I think you could make that a movie. I really do think you could sell that as a movie very easily.
I was explaining to my girlfriend last night how like people saw that Matt might be wearing like a black suit in season 2, and they were like, "Oh, Shadowland." I explained to her, I'm like, can you imagine season 1 of this show is like Mayor Fisk crime drama, and season 2 is what if Daredevil is possessed and he's evil by a big monster?
He's ruling a samurai town in New York. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
But I think here's my question. I really do think about this a lot regarding this show. The grand scheme of Fisk in the MCU as the mayor, New York crime, is the payoff going to be worth it if fucking Spider-Man doesn't show up? Because he has to. He's
not showing up in this show.
Not in the show.
He's not going to. But
that's why I
think
that this ought to be a movie. I want that because I feel like you can't. I feel like you just. I want Sony to play ball, man. I feel like you can't ignore the quintessential New York superhero in a story that's going to just be all about New York superheroes.
In a perfect world, sorry, real quick. In a perfect world, Peter Parker would be the one doing these street interviews.
Sure, I guess, yeah.
By the end of the show, it shows him doing that just to pay rent.
In a perfect world, Spider-Man would show up to Daredevil and be like, can you help out, man?
Yeah, can you be Daredevil and can we fight this fucking guy?
Yeah, exactly. Or Daredevil would show up to Peter.
I do like that idea, Hunter. Spider-Man. In like a if all was well and good, it would be a really cool reveal to have like all of these street interviews.
A really cool reveal, dude. That would blow the roof off of non-existent cinemas. Like they would just explode for no reason.
Yeah, no, just
like
if
Spider-Man
hearing explosions,
camera pulls back.
Yeah. If it was Spider-Man in the show, yeah.
Have you guys seen the like set photos from the last couple days?
No. Oh, Karen in a red wig.
With the redhead look,
yeah. Karen's in a red.
Can I show it? Can I show?
Yeah, that's probably it's fine. It's a set photo.
Yeah, I don't know. They look like they both. Matt's got like regular sunglasses on. Are they both like hiding on the cover?
No,
dude.
So it's they're casting another Mary Jane Watson here.
So that's actually Sadie Sink.
What about How about this? Identity reveal. Matt Murdock's in hiding. I don't know.
Yeah, I really
Karen Page has to go in hiding.
So, yeah.
Or maybe she's doing her job from Frank Miller's.
Ben Grimm?
The thing is that it's so cool and it's such a good story. But like
that didn't get love, Hunter. That didn't get love.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. Sorry, man.
You said the thing is, and then paused, and he kept saying Ben Grimm. You said the thing is Ben Grimm.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That wouldn't be like me to say the same thing like 3 times in a row before I get to the point.
Same thing, Ben Grimm.
Yeah, so the thing is, no, but like, it's a really cool story. Matt Murdock's obviously identity being revealed. That follows through for years and years until we get to the start of until we get to the start of Charles Soule's run.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and even then they carry it on. This happened. Well, they just enough.
No, they have like the purple children.
They've just addressed it in Devil's Reign. Like that's a big part of Devil's Reign is that for some reason we knew his identity and now we don't.
Yeah, and people don't trust him because of that. Yeah, I mean, Foggy brings that up in that book. He's just like, I don't like that you did that, and that's why they're not friends anymore. Which, by the way, fuck, if I had $1 for every time Foggy and Matt had a falling out, holy shit, like,
millionaire.
Even in this current run, when Devil's Matt shows back up to Foggy, and Foggy's like, "You're alive, you're alive," like he's so mad about it.
Because I think like Devil's Reign is a really good comic, right? It's very cool. And I think you have so many elements in there that are also in the MCU right now. And again, this is why I mean like Fisk running the Thunderbolts and using them to crack down on New York street crime, like the Defenders. Thunderbolts versus Defenders. That sounds like a fucking awesome movie. That should be Devil's Reign, right? And you could even go as far as we assume the Thunderbolts are going to be calling themselves the Avengers. You could have the Defenders beat them, and they could do the new Avengers thing where Luke Cage is in charge, or whatever.
Dude.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's
you said Thunderbolts versus Defenders, and I just pictured the fucking Sentry coming up and turning them all to shadows.
I mean,
just Dr. Manhattan.
That's another question of where the fuck is Spider-Man in that scenario. But I guess we'll see in that movie.
Well, but is Mayor Fisk just like watching this happen?
I think Fisk is running the Thunderbolts. I think that it could be a very easy reveal in the movie.
Great reveal.
I think that could be a very simple reveal because I think people know who that character is.
Make Stark Tower Fisk Tower.
Yeah, I think that could be really interesting, especially they're headquartered in New York. You know, like I that's another thing. Right? That's what I mean. Like, how big does this get? They can't ignore that. They've set up things that
otherwise
you break the
universe. Feel like the Netflix shows. Yeah.
You break the universe if you don't address some of this stuff. You know, like if nobody addresses that Mayor Fisk hates superheroes, and now you have a new superhero team in New York City. I feel like that's weird. You know,
Marvel can't be like, no, it's part of the MCU. They reference Secret Invasion. Like,
exactly. They said Skrull. Did you watch the show? They said Skrull. So
yeah.
I mean, maybe timeline wise, Thunderbolts is before, but either way, I feel like Fisk should be like a street level Thanos. Have him in have him in Spider-Man. This is what I mean. Spider-Man 4.
Like, you are so correct, Tyler. 100% agree. But just the phrase street level Thanos is so
it sounds like an insult, but it's actually not an insult.
You fucking street level Thanos.
Yeah, he gets the Infinity Stones and snaps just to make less parking in the city.
Hey man, he had that Infinity Stone in his cane that one time. Remember in the Infinity Wars in the comic. So. Don't forget that.
He snaps and Central Park becomes a parking lot.
That was Turk Barrett. He finally gets a red bone or whatever he wants, right?
Yeah. Because it's like the same shot when Thanos snapped with like the surviving members like sitting down, just zooms on Daredevil. He goes, "Oh God!" It's like he does. You can hear like honking.
Good stuff.
We should move on. We talked.
We should move on.
30 minutes.
Daredevil was good.
Just a great fucking rectangle as far as the eye could see. Oh God.
That's so funny because he's like exactly
the truth.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Like the other Defenders like standing around, like you see like how the other Avengers are, like Luke Cage is in the same pose as like Thor when he's just like looking down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, if Mayor Fisk turns like Central Park into a big grey parking lot, that's the set of every MCU movie for like the last.
There we go. We could film it. We could finally film there.
Fuck yeah. Civil War. Is
that what that's what the Sentry's gonna do in Thunderbolts? It looks like he's gonna flatten into a shadow. Anyway, before we get on to comics, what?
It would be the biggest parking lot in the fucking world.
Central Park, yeah. For no reason. I mean, you could fit every single car on Manhattan Island in Central Park if you turned into a parking lot.
That's Fisk's goal. That's his number one goal.
Yeah, to clear up traffic.
Oh my Hunter, that's
He's
so
taking my
funny,
thing.
dude.
Hey man,
I live in the
pricing.
city with the world's biggest parking lot, so he's gonna take.
I'm gonna have to Photoshop like some sort of parking lot symbol on a picture of Wilson Fisk for the thumbnail.
With the
Parking lot symbol. Yeah. Before we get into comics,
I am inevitable.
It's stabs an iris. It's like no.
He's got his fist in him.
Does that mean they have to time travel to get Central Park back?
Yeah, and do the Avengers care? The Avengers don't care. That's not.
Does Daredevil snap and sacrifice his life to get trees back?
Fisk would be in the Soul World looking at like.
Hey man, there's more than trees there, dude. We got the
young Echo. Yeah,
a young Echo will sign. Did you do it?
Nice. Or himself, maybe young boy him.
No, well, because it's Gamora.
I know.
Top to Dawn.
Wow.
She's like, what did it cost? He just goes, everything.
The city.
The Central Park.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
We just wrote the Defenders movie.
Yeah, the Devil's Reign movie.
Absolute cinema.
Hey man. He's got the Purple Man. Maybe he can just use the Purple Man and make everyone think that Central Park is a parking lot. And it's called Central Park. There you go. It's in the name, man.
People are parking like the water.
Yeah.
I haven't cried laughing this hard in so long, bro. Oh my god.
So stupid, man. So ridiculously fucking stupid.
I just imagine with the Soul, we're looking at like young Echo, where he's like his lip quivers, you know, when he looks down. Everything. Sorry. We have to move on.
Yeah. Anyway, I was gonna say before we get onto the comics of the week, this is where I was gonna take the opportunity to plug. I've got a video out on the YouTube if you want to watch it. It's about the most ridiculous issue of Spider-Man I've ever read in my entire life. And then
that
Hunter,
toy reveal blew my mind.
It blew my mind, dude. Can you believe that?
That was crazy.
How the fuck?
Yeah. Actually,
that.
People, we sort of announced it on last week's episode, but we didn't actually we hadn't set it up yet. But please do the
the TikTok, the Hero Story
TikTok, please.
Yeah, I guess please do it. But Hunter is also going to have a video coming out soon on One Piece, which he loves.
I read the entire manga in 7 months.
He says it's the best story ever. I looked it up actually. It says that One Piece is the best-selling piece of fiction, written piece of fiction, comic book fiction.
Yeah. I'm not
in the world.
Yeah.
550 million sales.
It is the biggest thing ever. Like across Japan, there's statues of the characters throughout the whole country.
Yeah.
Luffy,
one in my
even
backyard,
the
dude.
Other characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
They built one in your backyard specifically for some reason.
Yeah, Central
Park.
It
is. Who wins, Luffy or Godzilla?
But he snapped.
Like the most celebrated
Fisk snapped, ever. And in the middle of the parking lot, he built the Luffy statue too. So yeah, he's a big fan. I wish I could stretch like him.
Did you know that it's the biggest selling piece of media? Talking to no one.
Yeah.
He's talking to Daniel.
Yeah. I love
Mr. Fisk.
Tell me more about the One Piece.
Yeah.
Tell me more about
the One Piece.
Did they ever find it, Mr. Fisk?
The Netflix adaptation is okay.
Yes, better than you would think. Oh, Mr. Fisk. I just love you, Mr. Fisk.
That's a really big One Piece fan.
Yeah.
The painting with the blood on it. It's just a big One Piece poster. Him and Vanessa having dinner.
Yeah,
it's the flag, the straw hat flag.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh my god! Luffy got a power up in this week's issue.
I'm catching up. Don't spoil.
I'm not caught up yet, so don't spoil.
Mainstream comics just.
If anybody spoils, get out of this room.
Oh my god, dude! The fucking we built this city.
So good.
When he walked in, when he's walking up the stairs, and they're like, this is really big for Latvian culture. And he's like, what do I care about Latvian culture?
Yeah. Well,
we got it.
The mayor. I'm sure the.
Did you have a One Piece question, Tyler?
Yeah, we'll get to it. It could tie into something else. Comic books. this week. We got
Wake up, JD.
Yeah.
I've been up. I had a cup of coffee. We're good.
I had a cup of coffee and a cannoli.
You guys have been talking about the fucking parking lot for the last 2 hours.
That's true. Should we talk? We'll start with Flash, right? Absolute Flash.
Yeah. JD, you read this?
I did read it digitally though, so
Harper, did you?
I'm glad you read it though. Yeah, like if you were gonna read this, I would have sent the Flash to your house.
Oh, you're friends with the Flash?
What if the door just knocked, you open it up, and it was Ezra Miller?
Oh my god!
So like,
the
if y'all want to die,
Second Amendment would come into effect.
Hell yeah.
This cover is awesome, by the way.
No, it is sick as fuck. This apparently, according to Jeff Lemire, this is the best-selling Flash comic since Wally became the Flash in '87, which is crazy.
When you said that, I saw that. For some reason I just went liar. No reason. I don't believe it.
Honestly, I believe it. I think it's.
I was like, nah, 2016 Rebirth, a New 52.
It's at 180,000.
Number one would have sold a little bit better, but yeah,
maybe it's at 180,000 pre-orders, which I think will sell
love
more
his
anyway.
radical mullet haircut.
Yeah, I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome too. Reading this, it felt like it was like if I read this in like 2018, I would tell you that this is the best issue of anything I've ever read. Like peak Flash era, this
hell yeah.
I would have said this is the best thing ever made.
I think like if you were to put this in the hands of a new reader, I think this is really interesting and like really.
And obviously that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
It's also it is also different. I feel like I'm sorry for saying this, but I feel like the Superman one I felt like kind of samey by. Like I read Batman, I did Superman.
Dude, no, Superman they have
no, but just as a first issue, I felt I felt like
Superman's
samey. This one I'm like, okay, this is just completely different off the bat. And then obviously Batman is Batman.
I have read all the Absolute issues. Issue 1, I think this is the strongest issue 1.
You think this is the strongest issue 1? I think Absolute Batman is still the strongest issue.
Batman was crazy.
But
I even thought Wonder Woman was better than Batman.
Wonder Woman was great. I think they're all very good. That's the thing is
they are good. Yeah, they are
all the Absolute books are very they could all be the best one, you know, and they could all have like their own like sustainable fan base. Like
they're different enough.
Yeah, the fact that this is selling as much as it is like it's awesome. It's
very, very wild. Yeah.
There's one thing in this book I want to bring up, and like it's not an overly critical thing. I just think it's funny. I'm not one to like give a shit about spelling mistakes in comic books. But there's a part when Captain Cold first shows up. He says, Harkness, you are going in head on, right? See that one there?
He does.
And when I read that,
Yeah,
when I read it, I was just like, I like to think that he's trying to be like a big leader type, but he's like stuttering over his words. He's like, and they're just like all kind of giggling at him. Like,
legit just a type.
Come on, Jeff.
He stuttered out the dots and all
that.
No,
it definitely is. But he looks so sick.
He looks incredible. That's cool. Like peak Captain.
Very Jeffrey Dean Morgan-esque.
I was literally
much so.
I think this issue, like the idea, first of all, the grounded part of it, the absolute part of it, is that this is a Wally West where there's never been a Flash before him, right? Yeah. Barry Allen exists. I'm sure we'll get into stuff like Jay Garrick and stuff as well, but he is the first Flash, right? And so Wally, without his support system, without his like fanboyism, without all of that stuff, right? Yeah. Completely isolated. I think this is.
Could you tell that he had no friends in this issue? Did he? Nobody mention that enough?
Nobody said
it. It's like Logic being biracial. Like he's never mentioned it before, so you don't.
No, it's never come up.
I was gonna say that this is I think this is as Peter Parker as you get with Wally West, where it's just
it's so nice. I love how
I think this is the Flash if he was Spider-Man. I think that is the pitch kind of here, and I think this is really cool.
Yeah. The Flash, if he was me, is basically what you said then.
Hey man,
the Flash if he murdered Barry Allen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff.
Did he though?
I mean,
really? That's interesting. I thought I was expecting Barry to be like sucked into the Speed Force, but he's like
he's a corpse. Dead. I mean, they could do some bullshit where that's someone else's corpse or something.
It could be just.
I mean, the fact that it has a Flash costume on it is something. You know, he didn't just die. So
well, it's a tech. I think it's like the suit that he was using in the experiment.
I didn't even realize. Oh, he is wearing it. Yeah. Well, I mean, he could have. Like, I wonder if he's done stuff before. Like, they could do. I mean, this is a Flash book. Even there's time travel at the end of this book. I'm sure the Barry will come back in some form. Again, I'm sure we'll get Jay, and I bet we'll get the whole bunch of Flash family characters in some form, right? But I think the premise of Wally being on the run. I don't know why that made me laugh, but Wally being
that's the show, everyone.
Wally being on the run. I love this little Mojo Jojo version of Gorilla Grodd. Like it's gonna be like a literal monkey on his shoulder, I think is what they said. He's gonna be like his sidekick going forward, which I think is fucking awesome. I think this is just real neat. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of it was pretty interesting too, using like the speed to like show his anxiety as well. Like,
just thought bubbles on top of thought bubbles. Yeah,
right. Definitely kind of a different approach than the Flash. Like, I feel like the closest they've gotten to that is like, was that New 52 or Rebirth where he was just like thinking too fast? That might have been New 52 where he was just like thinking way too fast and all his thoughts were like super speed as well. So kind of like an interesting take on it.
Yeah, I mean, Lemire really knows what he's doing. Like Jeff Lemire is so good at everything he does. I think that this could really touch into like I want to know what happened to Barry. Like this could touch into like a weird cosmic horror kind of like we've unleashed something here, the Speed Force or whatever it is, and we don't really know the excess of what it's going to be. And I want to know more about the Rogues. I want to know like what their deal is. They're not criminals, seemingly at least.
They look like hired guns almost.
Yeah.
They're mercenaries.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to know more about that. I want to know kind of who's really behind that, who like what they're like. I could buy this as a version of. I know Captain Cold's not all bad in the comics, obviously, but this could be a version of him where he's like a good dude. Like he's like a real solid. Like he could be like a father figure.
Trips over his words almost a little bit, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, but I think you could have a dynamic where he's like he's like Wally's father figure in a way. You know.
Cool. He's got a cool design for sure.
We don't see him. Cool design.
He has like what looks like is likely the cold gun, but he never fires it. So we don't.
Did you like that he put on his glasses in a cool, dramatic way?
I did. Yes.
Is this who's this? This is a character.
Mirror Master.
Guy. He's a character in.
That's Williamson's character.
No, he's not Williamson's character. He's Jeff Johns. It's like Tar Pit or something. No.
Oh, is it really?
It might be. Yeah, it does
look like it. Is that the character's name?
Yeah, the Jeff Johns characters were Tar Pit, Garter.
History of the Flash. That's me.
Oh, Gerda. I love Gerda.
You know more than Hunter does. So.
Yeah, I probably actually have read more Flash than Hunter. I wonder who this guy at the end though is. Time to make this world.
Mirror Master, right?
Is it Mirror Master?
He said mirror, mirror on the wall.
Oh, he does. Of course he says that. Yeah, you're right.
Because I got to that last
the evil witch.
Gal Gadot from the new Snow White.
Is it the evil witch?
I got to that last page. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he said mirror, mirror on the wall. I went, oh, okay.
I don't know how that didn't even occur to me. That's ridiculous. Yeah, Mirror Master.
You're no longer History of the Flash. Sorry, you're fired.
Shit.
He could be Professor Zoom.
Maybe, man. It's cool. I think it's cool. I mean, I think one year in the future of the Absolute Universe is like Batman came out this week. This is the end of the first arc on Batman. I mean, this book is so fucking cool at every turn. The book
he kicks a kid.
He kicks the shit out of a kid like a football. It's sick. He beats up a guy using bowling balls. When
does the Maker break out? I don't understand this new universe at all. When does he get out?
November. He comes out in November. Which is really cool.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's November.
Jesus Christ.
Kicks the kid. There's a part where he's fighting Black Mask, and this guy's insane. I mean, I just love this. He's so insane, this version of Batman, but his ears turn like straight, and he just headbutts the shit out of Black Mask. So
Can't
good.
be doing that.
Yeah.
I liked it. Hell, I loved it.
Yeah, I love this version of Batman because he's so violent. He's so bad. The end of the
Would
issue
you like
teases,
it if he branded people and then
I would love that. This issue teases Bane, and the next two issues are going to be Absolute Mr. Freeze, which looks really interesting. They've said that when they start crossing over, the characters are going to start crossing over this year. That Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman, is going to be the character to like go out and recruit these people. And I think that's really interesting. Like the point that Superman's at, to get back to what we were saying earlier, Absolute Superman, the last issue's reveal And I thought this was like so interesting. This was so cool. I guess spoilers, but um they cut back to Krypton. This is a version of Clark where or Cal. He's not Clark in this book, but the version of Cal where he's grown up as a teenager on Krypton. So he's like maybe not teenager. He's like 12, 13, right? But he's on Krypton. He's like Supergirl. And they get to the part where the city is crumbling and the entire planet is exploding, and they get to the rocket, and there's space in it for all three of them. And so Jor-El, Laura, and Cal get in the ship. They land on Earth. Jor-El and Laura become the Kents. They just take their place, and they raise Cal on Earth as Martha and Jonathan Kent.
That's actually cool.
Kind of like
I thought that was
Steel.
Fucking crazy. I thought that was so cool. And that changes, like, that completely changes everything about that character.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I love
Dark
it.
Knights of Steel also had the Clark.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Watching you pause and then start smirking to yourself just so you could bring up Dark Knights
of Steel.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they did it first. Okay?
It's really cool. I mean, like the version of Superman that he is, where they do interviews around the world. Like, it's kind of Man of Steel in that aspect, where they're interviewing people like, who have met Superman, who've been in the wake of him. And everyone agrees. What this woman says is that, Superman exists because we're not heard. We pray for the rage of the Superman. Where it's like we pray for this guy to like be so mad about the way that the world is, so that he fights for us. Because he's all. I thought that was really interesting, like the way that they phrased that. We pray for the rage of the Superman.
Dark Knights of Steel also.
Yeah, Dark Knights of Steel also did that. So just so you know, before we get to Sonic DC, which we will get to, I just wanted to go over One World Under Doom real quick. Issue 2 came out.
Oh my god, he's not the Thing anymore.
He's not the Thing anymore, but
it's actually Ben Grimm.
Yeah, no, Doom. The way this issue ends, Doom. Not that it ends, but the middle of the issue is Doom.
He de-rocks him.
He de-rocks him. He says he does it on TV, and he's like, Reed Richards is the best, yet he can never do this. Like, I just did it like with a snap of my finger. This shit's fucking easy. And so everyone's like, wow, Reed Richards does suck. But I thought was really interesting conversation in this book. So Valeria gets into a conversation with Doom because, like, she can talk to him. He's, her goddaughter, or he's her godfather or whatever.
She's his goddaughter, yeah.
But she's asking him, like, what are you doing? Because what he's done is we've started this book and he's already emperor of the world. Like, there is no UN anymore. There are no other nations. The entire world, every country in the world is Liberia, right? So and they've agreed to it. And so this is the way that the world is. Doom is leader. And Valeria says, this is weird, dude. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why now? Why does this matter to you? That kind of thing. And then Doom goes, Valeria, can you explain to me, like, tell me what's so cool about democracy? And she's like, well, I think democracy is cool because, like, otherwise we have anarchy and everyone's just running around and they have like they have their own business and they do whatever they want because there's no repercussions, there's no anything like that, right? And he goes, all right, that makes sense. So why then is that like allowed, not on a person level, but like countries can do that? Like, how is democracy around the world not unified, not anarchy? Every country working in their own favor. Like, this is democracy, dude. I got every country working under one umbrella. This is real democracy. And it's so good. Just Doom explaining how his fascism is actually democracy. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. And it's like, it's so Doom because it makes sense in some sort of way. It's not stupid. It's not like a ridiculous thing that he said. I'm like, all right, yeah, I could see how that makes some sort of sense. That's a point,
Hunter and JD, if you guys could have like any Marvel character show up at the end to like help the Avengers bring down Doctor Doom, who would it be?
Kingpin with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Kingpin with the Infinity. What about you, JD?
Crystal from the Inhumans. I just feel like it'd be fun adventure.
Okay, what if it was MODOK?
because that is actually what happened.
Show the page. Show the page.
Like, the Avengers have to work
the lamest final page reveal. I was like, oh yeah,
the Avengers have to work with. I like the idea that the bad guys are also like, we don't like the fact that Doom's king either. Like,
can you show that picture of MODOK again? Because it looks like JD straight up.
All right, this is ridiculous.
I'm dead serious. Look at the face and tell me it's not. Look at that. That's it. That's it. That's literally him.
Do the face. Do the face.
Do the face.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Oh, there's JD on the back again. Have a look at the back of the cover.
The Eminem is me. Really?
There he is. There he is.
What is the point of this Eminem no more?
It's an Amazing Spider-Man 50,
yeah,
it's 50. Yeah, I just read it today. So.
That's so funny.
One thing I wanted to mention about One World Under Doom real quick. I think it's just really funny that Ryan North, he's got like such a good handle under Doom. That like the last issue, the first issue is the Avengers are just like, how do we find the plot? Like, how do we find the bad thing that he's done? Because obviously he's done something bad because he's Dr. Doom, but this looks like squeaky clean. And so they go to Latveria, and it turns out that in his like acquisitions of the world, Doom killed Baron Zemo. And Tony's like, we should leak this to the world because like Doom is pretending like he's a saint now, but he's murdered someone and we have the footage of it. So they leak it. And then Doom goes on TV and he's like, I killed a Nazi. So what? Like, so what? And then everyone goes, yeah, actually, he killed it because he's also killed the Red Skull in like a book a couple of years ago. So he's like, I blame me for killing Nazis, you know? And then Tony's like, shit, he really
why did he not think that through?
Yeah,
like,
I love
Tony. You would kill that guy. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was amazing. It's just, and then Reed's like, he knew we would do that. Like he's killing Nazis just because he wants the PR of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, let's do it.
Sonic.
I don't want to leak who this is or give too much information, but I was told like a year ago that this was happening.
Yes, you were. I remember this.
I remember.
By someone that knew about it, and I was like, what? But I knew that he would know. Like he is the type of person that would know. So I'm not going to say your name, but I know you listen to the show.
I can't believe Mark Wade.
Yeah, it's crazy that
well, we're not supposed to. We'll say MW. We'll call him MW.
Okay, my bad.
Can you? I like the idea that Hunter gets like maybe like a letter or something, and he sort of like has to end up walking out to a courtyard, and then there's a guy pumping weights, and he goes, "I see you got my message." And it's holding the Sonic.
Yeah, he hands him the issue.
Holding this, yeah.
It's in a parking lot.
It was like a few months later, Sonic, not DC for some reason.
Sonic released
a video. Well, like the Sonic the Hedgehog page released a video of Shadow dressed as Batman, and that guy messaged me, sending me it, and being like, "Here it is." Like, oh my god! And I was about to say, I shouldn't. Never mind. We'll continue. I will actually. There's more than just this happening for Sonic and DC.
Okay. Whoa, exclusive.
Hero Story exclusive.
Episode 1 going hard as fuck, guys.
Yeah. Hero Story exclusive.
But yeah, DC crossing over with Sonic for
you didn't like it?
Odd to me. But DC's been doing a lot of crossovers lately, and Marvel in general.
They have. They're going to do a Marvel crossover this year, so yeah.
Godzilla.
No, they're doing Marvel Godzilla too.
No, I'm excited for that. I'm saying the Justice League Godzilla one. Didn't like it.
Was awesome.
It's not good.
This,
however, is a lot of fun.
This was fun. Yeah,
it was delightful.
It's weird though. Like it feels like a little, almost like rushed. Like all of a sudden they're like
massively. It's a Saturday morning cartoon.
Sonic universe.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. I would say every page of this. I think it's the art style is very good. Ian Flynn's, you said he's been the writer of
Sonic
of the Sonic books.
Ian Flynn's been writing Sonic since like 2007, I want to say.
Yeah, so he's the guy to do it. And
just to talk about Ian Flynn for a second, he's been writing Sonic comics for so long that he is now hired by Sega to write the next Sonic games. He wrote Frontiers recently, and he's writing the next one as well. He is the guy, and they created a new department at Sega that's just like Sonic lore department, and he's running that department now.
Wow.
So he knows everything about this.
And he's a DC fan too,
world.
apparently, according to this.
He's a big DC fan, yeah.
Really I think interesting stuff. I mean, I'm guessing the reason it's a little rushed is because I think it's only 3 issues total. I don't think it goes any longer.
Wow. No, it says 1 of 5. So it's only 5.
1 of 5?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 5. Okay, it's 5.
I feel like you guys are going to disagree with this. And this is like a DC thing for me that I'm like, oh, okay. But as soon as this issue started and Boom Tubes opened up and then Parademons came out, I went, oh no, for fuck's sake. Like, do we have to, can't we do anything but Darkseid, please? I think he sucks.
No, but when you do the Justice League as like a concept outside of the regular books, like who's the biggest Justice League villain, you know?
Dude, Brainiac.
Like, do you do the Legion of Doom versus the Sonic universe?
No, definitely not. Because Legion of Doom and that Godzilla wanted to make me shoot myself.
Exactly. So, but imagine if that was Darkseid versus Godzilla.
I think
that is better. I'll give you that. He's better. I'll give you that.
I can see
Brainiac and Eggman. Like, I feel like
that's what I was thinking.
Like Joker and Eggman, like that'd be cool.
Oh no, I was thinking Lex and Eggman.
Lex and Eggman would be great because both
scientists. That's like Lex and Ozymandias, dude. That's so.
I just wish DC had a big villain that
wasn't Darkseid.
Wasn't dark. I wish they had one guy that just wasn't Darkseid.
Like,
I wish they
like would work too.
No, I know what you mean because like, in a way, it's like Darkseid belongs to the DC universe. Everyone else is like a villain of a hero in the way that like Thanos is a Marvel villain and Doom could be like a Marvel villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Kingpin could be a Marvel villain.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, Darkseid. But I think, I think
I just like it was.
We're gonna
like
see Sonic outrun Omega Beams, dude. I think that's awesome.
First page, the very first page.
Yeah.
You see,
and I was just like, oh,
I'm excited.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Flash and Sonic like racing.
I mean, is that
why
like
Barry has to wear the fucking New 52 Flash costume?
Oh my God,
everyone's wearing the New 52 costume, no?
Shadow and Batman makes the most sense of teaming up, right? When they talk about like,
I love their brooding was so.
Batman's wearing the New 52 costume as well. I do love that Batman went to Shadow and he was like, "All right, who'd you lose?"
Yeah,
who'd you lose? Who died? Who died in front of you? Tell me in excruciating detail who died.
It says specifically she was gunned down.
Yeah, she was.
Is that Hunter as the Sonic guy and DC guy? Is that who you'd pair with everyone? Like, you know, Flash and Sonic. Batman.
Yeah. I think it all works really. Tails and Cyborg, even that does work.
What's the name of the white Sonic?
Silver.
Okay.
So close.
It wasn't in the movies. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not.
Is Sonic gonna this is gonna be? They gotta expend all of their wackiness in this, right? Like Sonic has to get like a Green Lantern ring at some point, and like Superman's got to
get that with the big monkey in Justice League,
and it was awesome.
Dumb.
It was awesome.
It was awful.
Superman's got to get or Batman rather has to go like Super Sonic or whatever, right?
He goes super, gets the gold suit.
Yeah, they have to do that, right? Like. They have to go. They have to get silly with it, I think. And this is already really silly. I mean, there's a panel of Batman and Sonic and Shadow riding their motorcycles. Like,
I know, and they're not saying anything.
Are they going to have Batman be mad at Shadow using guns?
I was literally about to say, do you think they'll have a conversation? Like they'll have like a
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, I would like that. It's
Shadow's gonna turn to Batman and go, "You hit him and they get back up. I hit him and they stay down."
What about Hope? What about Hope?
Yeah. What about
Hope? Shadow talking about killing.
Do you think people deserve a second chance?
Yeah, Shadow says,
"What I do is permanent."
Actually.
I hear Maria every day. She says, "Get him,
Shadow."
They should. That would be awesome, actually. Like
what Shadow and the Punisher?
I guess you can see where he like takes a gun and maybe Batman throws a batarang at it and be like, "That's the weapon of the enemy" or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. That's gonna happen.
But it'd be cool. For references and Easter eggs, I wanted to ask JD about one too. You might know which one I'm saying, but first page, Amy says this isn't Little Planet. Little Planet is a little planet about that size in Sonic CD. There's Flash mentions a character.
The Crackle one? You said that in the chat the other day. That blew my mind, dude.
Did you know that was JD?
Yeah, I did, dude. That's such a deep cut reference. Oh, you were talking to JD.
Yeah, I did. Me specifically.
I'm sorry. I'm hyped.
I thought that was it.
I didn't know you knew who that
nice.
was.
I didn't know.
I didn't know who that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Crackle's from the Morrison Millar, right? Yeah.
That's cool. That shows me that Ian Flynn.
That's actually a really deep dive because that's like what?
That's a huge deep dive.
Yeah, he knows ball.
Grant Morrison.
I mean, I guess if he's writing the little speed guy, he's gonna read a Flash. I guess, right? Like he's gonna be a Flash fan.
I might even have.
Wouldn't Barry not know who Crackle is though?
You might have like heard of him.
Like they look
New 52, New 52. Everything's canon. It's
he was
all
dead
canon.
for like another 10 years after that, though.
Crackle is in. He's in the Morrison one. He's also in like some JLA stuff, but he's in the fucking. I'll see if I can find it. He's in that big splash page in Williamson's Flash when all the speedsters come through. He's there because I remember people being like, "The fuck is that little Sonic thing there?" See if I can find it.
It's just the panel of the Flash and Sonic running. That's like full on. Like
the Flash number 761. Harps.
Dude, it being canon.
That is such a good issue. That is such a good issue.
Canon, but official. I mean, is just it's awesome.
That line there for that page you just showed. When Sonic first
I'm just a hedgehog who loves adventure.
When Sonic first meets Shadow, Shadow says, "Who are you?" And Sonic says, "What you see is what you get. I'm just a guy who loves adventure."
Nice.
So little reference there. The last
there he is in
was...
Williamson's one. Look at him.
Yeah.
Weird little hedgehog,
dude. It was on Williamson's. When Shadow first appears for the first time ever, the first line he says is, "It all starts with this: a jewel to contain the ultimate power." Darkseid says the same thing, just changes jewel to gem. So a lot of like dialogue references here and there, which is fun for me to read, of course. There's like background references and stuff like that. Amy in the car, that's from a game called Sonic R from I think 1997.
Does Darkseid need the Chaos Emeralds? Like, does he? He's pretty tough, no? Like
it's like a dialogue that like Tails is gonna say.
Yeah, does he even need that? Like he's pretty tough on his own. But like, you know what I mean? Like, does he not have power equal to it?
It's probably to power something like a machine.
I see. Do you think Eggman's gonna have to side with the good guys, right? Like he can't be on. Like, in what way would Darkseid? Like, how would he even entertain the idea of having Eggman on his team? he would Omega beam him immediately.
They're gonna go to like Apocalypse, and Eggman's gonna be like chains. He's gonna be like sitting with Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the pits, dude. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
actually,
it's a fun issue. I'm excited for the next one. I'm so glad that this is happening. It's just like I was made for this kind of thing. So
it really, you really were.
This is your Black Panther, isn't it?
This is my Black Panther.
It's weird. When is the last time on the podcast that all four of us read the same issue? It's been a long time.
We just did it twice.
10 minutes ago. Yeah, like
2 issues.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like when's the last time? It's gotta be maybe a year.
Because I woke up this morning, I had about an hour until the podcast started. I went, I'm going to get these in. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you got it.
I was in the shower reading Absolute Flash, dude. Water trickling down with that Kingpin gif.
I just looked at Wonder Woman says that Darkseid's little thing is called Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah. Ragnarok. Yeah.
That's so stupid. This is going to be like a silly version of Darkseid? This is not going to be like cold manipulative.
No, yeah, it's going to be like more kid friendly.
Goofy Darkseid, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a fun trade.
Sonic or one of them's going to like outrun the Omega Beam, like
yeah.
Did we just say that?
That's 100% going to happen.
I don't listen to what any of you say. So
that's fair. Actually, that's fair.
I'm hoping that Flash and Sonic
have you guys ever heard of the parking lot in Central Park? It's already named Central Park.
Hey, that's funny though.
I do hope Flash and Sonic race, but all honestly, like Flash could destroy him in a race.
I would assume so, yeah.
What was it, auto second or whatever?
Yeah. That's literally, dude, that is literally what you are referencing is in that story, the human race. That's the one where he races that little Sonic dude, and he has to outrun instant teleportation.
So Ian Flynn knows of this issue. He's probably gonna, like Sonic's not that fast. I think Sonic thinks he can run around the world in like 5 seconds, kind of thing, which is Flash can do that 100
it's pretty
times.
fast, but
but Flash could do it like before you blink.
Yeah,
I do like the team up. So I like the characters. I like how Silver's in this, and I'm looking forward to the next one. JD, you gave Sonic three stars.
It was fine. It was fine.
I had an instinct there to punch my computer for some
To
reason.
be fair, JD, it's better than the Flash. All of
I
them
don't
are in
disagree with
fact
that.
better than the
Obviously, look at
Flash.
my letterbox
All
ratings.
three of them.
I thought it was fine. The last act is definitely the best of it. I think the first two acts a little slow. It's a little the laser dance sequence. Never wanted to kill myself more. Holy tits!
It's fun.
It's
Have
fun.
a bit of fun in your life.
Sucks.
Fun.
Eggman versus Grandpa Eggman. It's fine. Pulling on each other's mustaches. It was fine.
I don't even
when they both go super.
I give it 4 stars.
The end of it was cool. The tap and all that was cool.
What about the Man of Steel thing when they did the kicks and the punches and whatnot?
It was like 3 stars. Not a bad rating.
Oh yeah,
it's a better movie than Man of Steel. That's for sure.
The Man of Steel punch is crazy.
Yeah,
because it goes like across the world.
Yeah, it is a better movie.
When they first show up and Shadow's like standing in the middle of that city and then he just fucking trounces Sonic. I love that shit. That was good. Hops on a motorbike. Hell yeah, dude. Why not?
He was way more threatening than the Hedgehog I fought previously.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Okay, well,
it was fine.
at least you don't hate it. At least you don't.
I'll watch the fourth one when it's on streaming.
I will watch it in cinemas day one.
I'll watch it in theaters day one, guaranteed.
Are you gonna wear a Sonic shirt, Harbor?
Oh no, I'm wearing the whole outfit. Head to toe. Hate myself.
Full mascot.
Podcast, you'll come on blue.
A what?
You'll do what?
Who? Sonic cosplay. Let me see. What the closest
are you gonna do the shadow face paint? I know you're used to that.
It's true.
I'll look somewhat. I'll look somewhat like this. This is what I'm going for. Hopefully, that's what it'll look like.
I'll do the Charlie West Critical Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, none of these are good.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean,
did you have the One Piece thing?
I wanted to. Here's what I mean. The thing is, it's a bit of a discussion question.
Well, let's hear it.
So, because I wanted to talk about how. So, okay, you've read One Piece. How many pieces of One Piece are there?
Just one.
Yeah,
just one, man.
Wow. How many parts?
And that's a hero story. Thanks for.
That was your question.
Yeah, like how many pieces are there actually? Though it can't be one piece. But
that's absurd. There has to be more.
There's got to be more than one piece. I mean, there's like 1,000 issues of it. How many issues? I mean, like how many is it actually that you've read?
1,142.
That's the exact number. How do you know?
Look at that.
How good am I?
It's literally the exact number. 43 comes out on Sunday.
Interesting. So because I wanted to ask why
you could have Googled
how many parts are there? Why
30.
do you think that manga is outselling comic books? American comics.
That is interesting.
I feel like that's not a hard question.
But you've done a deep. I've never read. I mean, I've read some manga, but like, there's got to be a difference in storytelling that One Piece can sell. 550 million.
It really comes down to that comics aren't selling as well as they did in Western countries, and it doesn't have the appeal broader than that. Whereas like manga sells like fucking crazy around the world, including America. It's really
also more accessible. I feel like it's easier to read online. It's easier to buy online than comics are.
I think it's also cultural too. I think manga is just so inbuilt as well, whereas Western comics probably aren't.
Same in Japan. Like you look at anime as well, and like people in North America, they love anime. Like it's more popular every single day. While in Japan, that is like more people in Japan watch anime than they do like live action.
But do you think anime is comparable to like, I don't know, our superhero media or whatever?
It is because it's like for manga versus superheroes. Yeah, it is comparable. It's very comparable.
Because I just mean like in terms of. Because I always wonder why, because it outsells it to the degree where it's like, I know everyone knows, everyone knows Spider-Man, everyone knows Superman, everyone knows the Avengers now, but you, I think, are more likely to run into someone who's like a super fan of manga than a person who's like a super fan of Marvel or whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, I just mean in the terms of like, why is it so much more accessible around the world? Like in terms of not just of physically, it's easier to read, you can find it easier, but like what about it draws people in more.
Like,
Because I
what's
would
more
argue you got some good damn comic books out there, obviously, that are probably as good as your best manga. But
aren't like manga issues like shorter and more compact than like
24 pages.
same amount?
aren't they like not maybe page count, but like in terms of amount of content on it? Like I opened a world up one
Yes.
world under Doom issue 2, and there was like the second page or the third page, and it was just like text heavy as fuck. I don't think I've
Well,
ever seen a
it's the
manga that
thing
has
being real
like
angry. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like so much dialogue on one page, and I've never seen a manga with like that
One page.
level of dialogue before. I feel like maybe it's just more accessibly readable.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, yeah. It's just
Like it
it's
looks like it's pitched
easier.
more at
Do you
kids
think it's
in a
really
nice
as
way.
simple as the one
Because yeah,
writer,
like
one
I'm looking
artist
at
thing?
the page layout and it's just like this is what I
That's what I'm
read today,
saying.
for
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
example.
yeah.
that counts as a page. Like they're not the
Hmm.
same.
And it's
But
also black and white for pretty much all of them too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think it's as easy as the fact that it's one writer, one artist, maybe the same person, and it's
One
like
Piece.
but you know what I mean, where it's like it's one person's story.
Yes. Yes. And manga rarely gets canceled as far as I know. Like the story either continues or it ends
Yeah.
when it after it starts. So and it's always just one person. No one usually it's rare if someone takes over. So the art is consistent the
But that's
whole
what
way
I mean.
through.
Like,
The writer is consistent the whole
do you
way
think it
through.
just could be that, like where I think what's interesting, because I've seen a lot of people say, anime is very it's a lot of the times extremely accurate to what the manga is, right? Like very
Pretty much
rarely do they
always,
take
yeah.
wild creative swings.
Mhm.
But when you look at comic books to comic book adaptations, a lot of the time it's an
Different.
adaptation, right? It's not completely the same. And so I've seen
Mhm.
people say, like, if you were to do a Spider-Man cartoon, and let's say you wanted to run for 100 seasons like the One Piece anime does, should you just do a Spider-Man cartoon that's literally the exact same as every issue of Amazing Spider-Man so far, right? Barring the fact that's impossible to do, just given how silly some of those stories are. But I feel like the reason you don't do that is because, like, this guy's laughing maniacally. He's
I'm just
read
laughing at how fucking bad I butchered Vincent D'Onofrio, calling him Vincent Dino Frio.
Dino Frio. But I feel like it's ingrained in the DNA of like Western American comics that a new person gets it and they have their interpretation of it. And I think that's why you can get away with that in adaptations, right? Where it's like, if the spirit of this thing is that we can remold it however we want, as long as we stay true to it, then when you're adapting into a movie, it's like, okay, well, this is this person's interpretation of the comic, right? Versus
Mhm.
manga and anime, where it's like, if you were to have someone show up and they're like, okay, we're going to make a One Piece movie, but it's my interpretation of One Piece, you know,
Mhm.
people are gonna do Luffy punches in the street. They're gonna kill people. People will die.
Yeah, yeah, of
People
course. Yeah.
people will die.
People will
People
die.
will die.
I'm a man of my word. So, you know what I mean? It's
But
like I think I
yeah,
feel like it could just be that
it
that
could
it's
be.
that it's just streamlined one person, and when you get one person's like
You
one
trust them if you
person's
like them. Yeah,
yeah,
you read a
that's
little bit,
why
you're like, I like this, and you know it's going to stay consistent.
you've seen people say on the internet, like we see people say that it, like Invincible, for example, is as manga as you're going to get in an American comic book because it's
Yeah,
one writer. I mean, besides all the
pretty
superhero
much one
stuff,
artist.
pretty much
Yeah.
one artist, and it's his vision for this thing. And I think
Mhm.
that obviously Image exists to do that, but not every Image book is going to go for over 100 issues like Invincible or The Walking Dead did.
Mhm.
Versus anime, which is manga's at what 30, not manga, One Piece is at like what 30 years, right?
Yeah, coming up on
Something
30 a
like
year,
that.
I think.
So
Yeah, it's like
I don't know.
28. Yeah.
I think that's interesting. The way that like like the adaptation idea of it all, I think is literally what could just turn people away from comics. Because I think you
Could
get
be.
your
And
take of a character in a movie, but the comics are never going to look the same as that,
it's also
and
like
people
people
know
don't,
that.
pretty much everyone that doesn't read comics that are interested, they have no idea where to start at all.
Yes.
And there are good ways now to get into it. Like, oh, you started with Absolute DC if you're a new reader, but some people are just like, but I want to read the main Batman. I don't want to read this different Batman kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where do you start with there? And it's hard to say. You start here, but no matter where you start, you won't understand some things mentioned. For One Piece,
Yes.
it's like you don't start at chapter 700, don't start at today's chapter. You have to start at the beginning because this is one story here.
Yeah.
And usually when people get into it, they get into it. I work one of my jobs here is I work at Apple in the biggest mall in Canada, and I have to walk quite a ways to that mall to get to the Apple store. And I have some One Piece shirts, and every time I wear a One Piece shirt and I walk through this crowded mall, pretty much every
Everyone
single time
claps
someone will
and
point.
like, woo,
Right.
there he is.
They stand, they cheer, they throw straw hats at me.
People die.
People will
People
say
die.
That's
people
awesome, man.
will say that they like my shirt, or I'll see a One Piece fan and I'll say I like your shirt kind of thing. Like it is
Mm-hmm.
a
There's
global
no, sorry, Hunter.
phenomenon.
I do not believe for a second
Those
that
are
any
nice
One
shoes.
Piece fan has those social skills to say, "Hey, nice shirt." No way.
Bro, 98% of the world are One Piece fans.
98%.
98?
Of the
On the
population of
resistance.
Earth.
That's true. You know what? I buy it. I buy it.
Whoa.
But you go by stores
Like,
now.
like 7 billion people.
Yeah.
Hey, he's near Shakespeare for
Sorry.
written.
Spit it out, son.
Sorry,
That's where
the Captain Cold's
That
coming out.
was what he tried to do when he was trying to tell the guy he has a nice shirt. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's an accurate One Piece fan. He brought out the real One Piece
I like
fan.
that shirt.
Yeah.
Me when I talk about One Piece.
He was doing his vowels, dude. What are you making fun of him for?
But it's just, that's just One Piece. There's also Dragon Ball that
Dragon Ball,
the world knows.
Hey,
I
do you think
read
Dragon
the
Ball's
other
bigger
day
than One Piece?
about. I think now no, but it was for
Goku's
the
bigger than
longest
Luffy,
time.
though.
Yes, I found out this story
balls
about
on your face, bro.
the last season of Dragon Ball Super during the final fight. They were streaming it around Mexico. They're taking it as a holiday where people don't have to go to work to watch this episode in theaters. And Japan found out about this and was trying to sue the government of Mexico because they were taking away streaming numbers because they were having hundreds of people watching on one screen across the entire country.
I mean, when
kind of an absurd lawsuit if you think about it.
when
It's weird.
Toriyama died, the cartels in Mexico had agreed to a ceasefire, like for a little bit after the guy that created Dragon Ball died. So, like,
Why?
So, yeah, they
like
big
these
fans.
worlds
Those are the
of
7 billion people.
One Piece and Dragon Ball, well, along with the other big ones, Berserk, Naruto, Bleach, My Hero Academia, like they are
I like
massive
Berserk.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't know, but at the same time, like everyone knows Spider-Man and Superman and Batman and the Avengers and everything. So it's a hard conversation.
It might be one of those things where it's like I think Batman and Superman and Spider-Man are more culturally like ingrained, at least here, obviously, where it's like, yeah, you know who they are, right? And not everyone knows a lot about any of these characters, right? Like I genuinely think you ask a normal person on the street, not a majority is going to know Superman's real name. I really don't think that, but more people are more like bigger fans of like Luffy and stuff.
More
like that.
people are going to know who Superman and Batman are, but you're saying there's more mega fans.
Yes, of like Luffy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Goku.
And I think it comes down to someone wants to get into Batman. Where do I start? You either start here, here, here. You want to get into One Piece? You start here. That's it.
Yeah. And because the characters aren't.
It's easier to get
meant to exist forever. I mean, obviously, like some of them will, but
I think that's the biggest thing. It's like The Walking Dead. Like it's a one story told by one dude, and
you start
supposed to.
That's how comics originally were, right? Like when Stan Lee wrote Spider-Man, it was Stan Lee Spider-Man only, right? For the first 100 issues. Fantastic Four, only Stan Lee and Kirby on every issue. Like
you got to give it to somebody else, and then the DNA of the thing changes. Like the Spider-Man that Stan Lee wrote, which movies have attached to and whatnot, because he's a teenager, and that's interesting. When you get past that, you show a normal person that, and he's unrecognizable. They have no idea who this version of Peter Parker is today. Thank God they don't, because then he wouldn't be so popular. But people have no clue who these characters are now, or even in general who these characters are. And I think that's fine, because there's like a cultural version of them that exists. Like the cultural version of Spider-Man that exists, people know that teenage kid, Peter Parker, goes to high school or whatever. But when you get deeper, it's like there is no place to start for a normal fan. Like I know they're relaunching it #1 again this year, but nobody who's never read a Spider-Man comic is going to pick up that issue I just refuse to believe that will happen.
Well, people will, but they won't continue.
Yeah, sure, yeah, but I
They'll
also
get
think
this.
Like,
oh, it's an issue 1, but they won't get issue 2.
But it's like,
and I always think it goes down to the accessibility, and maybe it's today like that Comixology died, but like you really don't have
dude, Comixology did more than fucking died, man.
I forgot that word.
You don't have a great online way to read comics or buy new comics if you're
oh my god, that has
scarred
us,
or Canada. Basically, it's very hard to get into comics. If there was like a good Comixology that was easy to get on the phone or easy to get on the computer, where you could buy issues, be subscribed, I genuinely think comics could be more popular, but they haven't really hit that yet.
I mean, what Shonen Jump is $3 a month, right?
Yeah.
Marvel Unlimited's 10. I mean, I know that's like, and that's only Marvel.
And Shonen Jump is where you read all of One Piece right there, along with hundreds of other stories, but
and that's just there. Marvel, Unlimited for $10 or whatever a month.
Right. DC's the same way. DC Universe Unlimited.
Yeah, and I think it is a accessibility thing, 100%. But I also think that like comic books are chasing like this thing that doesn't exist. Like they're always chasing the mythical fan who goes to see a big movie and then goes, I gotta buy the issue right. I gotta buy the newest issue right now. Like, that's why they're relaunching Fantastic Four at issue 1. Like they are assuming that these people exist, and we just know that they don't, because that has never worked. Like Avengers Endgame made $3 billion. But you look at Avengers comic sales in May of 2019, and I guarantee you they don't move an inch.
Right?
Yeah.
But they want them to. Like they're chasing it. I guarantee you, whatever that issue was, there's some fucking Endgame shit in there. Nebula's in there for some reason, or Rocket's in there for some reason. Like I guarantee you, but that person doesn't exist. And so it's like they're chasing different audiences. Like Marvel and DC and comics are chasing people that don't exist, but what they have is they have like their whales, the people that will always stay with the book, right? The people that they will always make money on. Meanwhile, manga's like, it's like enticing to new people. It's like, you know what, you can get into this and it's simple and it's clean and it's fun, and you're also going to be part of the broader conversation. People love
you're part of the fandom, and
you make friends and whatnot. But comic book fans are not friends with each other for the most part. Like Spider-Man fans don't like each other. Everyone disagrees on Spider-Man, but like, how could you disagree on like Luffy? There's one version of him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And also like I got into One Piece because I just heard it was good. So I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And now I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever made. But if you go to like, a lot of people get into comics and manga at bookstores.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that the Canadian bookstores here are the same as Australia and America here, but
we just have
we got Wayne.
Shelves
like, America has it's called Barnes and Noble, right?
Which
we got Barnes and Noble.
The comic section used to be like 8 shelves, and then manga was 2. Now it's the reverse. It's all manga.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. And Harper has Wayne's World, and it's probably, I don't know if it's similar or not. Yours, but
no, that's not.
It's the same thing. When you go to those sections, you go to the comic section, and it's in alphabetical order by DC,
and
Marvel,
always the
and
only
Indie.
one there. Yeah,
but it's like there's so many different. Like you see Batman Killing Joke, Batman Court of Owls, like Venom King and Black. It's kind of like, okay, where do I start? Go to manga, see One Piece, and it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it's easy. It's not labeled like One Piece Water 7 or One Piece Wano. Like it doesn't say the arc name. It says the number.
That's like a glitch in the system. Like there's no way they could fix that. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man's about to hit 1,000, and forever
they essentially try with any renumbering, but it doesn't quite work.
But forever there will be a 1,000 next to the issue number.
Right?
Like and
Action Comics, Detective Comics.
They're
going through that right now.
Exactly. It's so there's nothing they can really do about that. Hell yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. I think that, Batman, Absolute Batman, where everyone's like, this is one of the best sellers. It sold 400,000 issues. And like, that is a lot for comics, but that feels like nothing. Only 400,000 people read this. And it's supposed to be the biggest thing of this.
Tyler, I'm telling you right now, double people read that.
Double people.
And it's all pirating.
Maybe.
All piracy.
Piracy
is fucking
But huge, do you think it's like a million? Like I still don't even think a million people.
I feel like it's possible. I feel like percentage wise, the idea that like half bought it is feasible. I could see it being less.
Interesting.
Because it's so accessible to pirate comics.
Well, that is another thing. It is,
and it's almost like
it's almost encouraged. I feel.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
almost maybe not encouraged is the word I'm thinking of, but it's
They're
almost
expensive,
like
man.
it's almost like excusable. Like people, it's not frowned upon.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing where it's like, okay, how often does manga release, Hunter?
So manga, I just so it's similar with comics issues and volumes.
Yeah.
So a chapter releases every week, usually, unless
Every
there's like a week
week.
delay or something like that.
Yeah.
Every single week there's a new chapter, new issue kind of thing. Sometimes there's like a bi-weekly delay or something. And it's usually if it's like a heavy issue with a lot of characters and stuff like that, or if the creator's sick or something like that, couldn't make it. I just looked it up here.
Another
So
one.
the latest volume of One Piece came out 2 weeks ago. That's the latest volume of like the latest 12 issues in one. And it sold 750,000.
Yeah.
And those are
750,000 in 2 weeks.
people that are up to date on One
Yes,
Piece.
those are up to date. I looked up what is the most sold manga of all time. It's volume 108, which came out last year, sold 1.552 million copies.
Damn.
For just a volume, just a book that big that
Yeah.
covered 12 chapters.
I mean, it
is like the biggest moment in One Piece. I know what
yeah, a
chapters
lot
I
of things
covered,
where
but
there's a lot of things there where it's like, okay, once a week, dude. When I have explained to people how comics work, I'm like, oh yeah, and then it's once a month. They go, once a month.
Right.
You get one a month, and if it sucks, you just have to wait till the next month, you know? And a lot of the times I'm reading comics, I'm like, why did I've read this and I'm like, oh, this was good, but like I have to wait till next month to see what happens, you know? Months they go by quick, but god damn it, it's a lot of time, you know? And artists can't keep those deadlines, and writers a lot of the time run out of steam. And you feel that. You feel when like a monthly book drags and it's going nowhere.
Oh yeah.
But I could not fathom getting an issue of like Fantastic Four every week. That would be like,
that'd be stressful.
If I got the Infinity Gauntlet, I'd probably snap to make that happen. That would be
the other thing,
Hunter,
that would be
the thing I would do.
I wonder,
and
I wonder with One Piece, like, and it's like you have kind of experienced this. You have read One Piece, and you have read One Piece, and you watched a bit of Breaking Bad, and then you've read One Piece. You know what I mean? I wonder, like with us, we keep up with this character and this character and this character. How many of the people that buy One Piece is like One Piece just like their thing? You know, it might be the only comic that they read, or the only like they might watch other stuff, but they read One Piece. That's
like I read this.
I do
and then
wonder.
Some people are just like they One Piece,
but like you haven't read like back issues for anything in fucking forever because you've been reading One Piece. One Piece was the thing, yeah.
But it was. But I also feel like it's like One Piece essentially is a universe of characters and a world, and it's one book. It would be like if they made like a Marvel, you know what I mean? It's like every character in this, because they're not going to do like a Luffy book, right? Like they wouldn't do that. It's not.
No, but out of like the 1,142 chapters, Luffy's in probably 1,100.
Like he's a main character, but you have a world that they're building out and other characters.
Yes, there are other.
You know what I mean? Like
there's a lot of chapters where he's not in it, and it's just like, hey, let's go back to this world.
Like Rick in The Walking Dead, where he's in like the vast majority of the issues, but he's not in every issue.
He's not in every issue. There's a lot of issues where it's just every end of an arc, you kind of catch up with what's happening with the world. So the whole story is like going to different islands, and then when an arc is over, it's like, okay, let's go back to this island from 300 issues ago, and let's see what's happening there and how they're reacting to what just happened in the story, kind of thing. There's a chapter where an earthquake happened that caused tsunamis and islands flooding, and it showed every island that they've ever been to since chapter one and how they're reacting and if they survived or not. So kind of stuff like that, where it's like really good world building, where we get to see these characters again. So
that's gotta be hard, man. Like I don't even know as a writer. Like I always used to think about like Bendis and how many like red strings attached to pictures he must have had in like his peak Marvel era, where he's like setting up Secret Invasion and living through the fallout of Civil War, and he's doing all this stuff and setting up like Norman Osborn. Like that's a difficult task, and especially to do it now for what 30 years that the One Piece what's his name guy has been doing.
Oda, yeah. Like, well, he's so big now. Like Oda, for the past few years, he's refused to show his face because he just gets swarmed when he goes in public.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy, man.
he's helping out with the Netflix show too, and they did an interview with him with the cast talking to him, and his face was blurred because he's like, "Don't show my face because I can't." I
Because
can't.
I'm just a nerd, dude. I'm just
He's
like a
what
normal
Todd
nerd.
McFarlane described what starting image was like. It's like we are rock stars kind of thing. Like we are recognized everywhere. But he literally, he's like, I can't be seen. There's that picture. I don't know if you saw the picture I sent where Oda was in the top 10, where it's like his back looking at a crowd. That was he went to a One Piece event and no one knew who he was. He just walked around. He wore a straw hat and everything.
That's cool.
Because he's hidden his face for the past 15 years.
Damn.
So, there are pictures of him when he was
Stanley
younger,
would have never.
Yeah,
Stanley's face was on the comics.
Stan Lee presents whatever Marvel.
Yeah. It was very much like America versus the rest of the world, almost, you know.
This picture right here. This is the last picture of. This is the last picture of him. That's what he looks like. That's hard. And he's looking at a crowd of people watching an announcement for One Piece. Wow. And he's holding like a straw hat. Like it goes hard.
We're now announcing Two Piece.
Yeah. Dude, is that the sequel?
The Walter White like dropping to his knees.
Is that the sequel? Is it Two Piece?
Yeah, it could be. We still don't even know what the One Piece is. That's the exciting part.
What? 1,000 issues, you don't even know what it is?
You guys don't know that?
I thought we just never got it. I didn't know we didn't even know what it was.
The whole point is the whole world's looking for the One Piece. They don't know where it is. They don't know what it is.
It's going to be so disappointing.
Genuinely, Hunter. Genuinely.
It's going to be so disappointing.
You have a choice of two reveals at the end. They never find it. It never existed. There never was a One Piece. Or they find it and they're like, you know what? The One Piece was the adventures we had along the way.
Yeah, the One Piece.
That's the thing. That's the thing. He did. People were asking him that years ago before I even got into it, but he did confirm it is something. It's not going to be that. It is like a physical thing.
It's not going to. But nothing is going to live up to.
They go to the place. They find the One Piece, and it's the comedian's pin.
Oh my!
Can you imagine?
Well, here's hoping, man. Here's hoping.
That's so good. I'm gonna add that to the thumbnails. Fucking
Luffy holding the comedian's pin. Oh, that's so good. I think that is the end.
Yeah,
they will. If you guys like this conversation,
how long has One Piece been going for?
Since 1997 or 98.
Can you imagine? It's been my entire life, and it's been building up to a Watchmen crossover.
If you guys enjoyed this conversation on Manga, let us know in the comments or message us.
Hunter's going to be doing a video.
I'm going to be doing a video on One Piece, but if you guys want to continue this conversation on Manga, we'll continue next week.
Yes.
That was a good conversation.
Like, subscribe. Send this to a friend if you like us. If you like what you're listening to, share it with a friend. Leave a review.
We're trying to grow.
Stuff. Yes. And I think send us emails at herostorycomics@gmail.com. Why not? Send us emails. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. For a hero story, I've been Tyler.
I've been Hunter.
JD.
I'm Harper.
Boah.
Thanks.